லைவ்ல தான் இருக்கா? லைவ்ல பாருங்க. ஸோ குட் ஈவினிங் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ். ஸோ இன்னைக்கு தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு, இன்னைக்கு சிவில் சர்வீஸ் யூபிஎஸ்சி ப்ரிலிமினரி எக்ஸாமினேஷன் எழுதி முடிச்சிருப்பீங்க. நம்ம அந்த ப்ரிலிமினரி எக்ஸாமினேஷனோட கொஸ்டின் பேப்பரை, ஜிஎஸ் கொஸ்டின் பேப்பரை நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் வந்து பண்ணுவோம் ஆன்சர்ஸ். ஏன்னா உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் ப்ரீவியஸ் இயர் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஆகட்டும் எவ்வளவு இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் இந்த யூபிஎஸ்சி ப்ரிலிமினரி எக்ஸாமை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும். ஸோ நம்ம அதனால தான் இன்னைக்கே வந்து நம்ம என்ன மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வந்து கேட்டிருக்காங்க, எப்படி இதோட ட்ரெண்ட் வந்து இருந்திருக்கு. ஸோ லாஸ்ட் இயர் எப்படி இருந்திருக்கு, ஸோ 2013 வரைய இந்த யூபிஎஸ்சி ப்ரிலிமினரி கொஸ்டின் ட்ரெண்ட் எப்படி இருக்கு, அது எப்படி 2025ல எந்த மாதிரி வந்து இருக்குது, இப்படிங்கிற டீடைல்டு அனாலிசிஸ் we are going to look in. இந்த டீடைல்டு அனாலிசிஸ் நம்ம வந்து இந்த செஷன்ல நம்ம வந்து பார்க்க வந்து போறோம். ஃபைன். Okay, so excuse me. So first in the so this UPSC Prelims question paper 2025 la so we have seen so many questions related to statement type questions, because in this paper they gave 3 statement questions, which is really new to this year, because most of the students struggle. I hope most of the students struggle in that area. Fine. So before we going into detail about how the question types are, so we will first look the subject wise split in the questions. Fine. So in 2025 question paper, right, in 2025 so majority of the questions came from the polity, because you can see fine. So in polity they asked 18 questions. After that we have environment. In that they asked 16 questions. So 16% of the questions came from environment. So I am using set B as my for my analysis. Okay, so in 10 to 18, 48 to 15, so these questions came from the environment. So when compared with the trend, okay, so normally average number of questions asked from 2013 to 24, 15 to 20 questions asked in polity. Likewise to this year also they asked 18 questions in polity. So the average here when it comes to polity is stable. When it comes to environment, the question percentage also increased when compared with the last year or the overall average. So 10 to 12 questions actually average from 2013 to 24. So this year they asked the 16 questions in environment. So when it comes to economy, 12 questions. So normally they ask 12 to 15 range when it comes to economy. This year also they maintain that number of questions in economy as well. When it comes to science and tech, yes, normally in the recent times, excuse me, in recent times they asked 10 to 12 questions are related, 10 to 15 questions in science and tech. This year also they asked like that only. So science and technology, they asked 12 questions in it. Fine. So next, when it comes to current affairs, this year also they asked 10 questions in current affairs, exactly from current affairs. For example, February 2025, a summit was held in France. That question also included in this. That current affairs question. So many questions. So exactly 10 questions are asked in current affairs part. When it comes to modern India, there is a slight decrease when compared to the average number of questions. Normally they ask 8 to 10 questions. You can see the decrease when it comes to modern India. So you can have only 7 questions. When it comes to international relations also, there are 7 questions asked in this year. When it comes to world geography, they asked 5 questions, and also Indian geography 5 questions. So more or less 10 questions from the geography. And from the history part, so history part, when it comes to ancient, medieval, and even the modern India, we have already seen 7 questions. So when it comes to whole of history, they asked 15 to 16 questions. Likewise also they asked for the previous year. So this is the overall subject wise trend when it comes to 2025 question paper. Fine. So the next thing, so this is given in this bar chart. Okay, so polity 18 questions they asked. Fine. Yeah, so 16 questions in environment, so economy and all. So there are so many questions asked in polity, environment, and also economy and the static history part, because this year also the history questions are more or less easy when compared with other years. So if you know the static area very well, though certain questions when it comes to economy, there are slight calculations and so many statement based questions, but you can easily able to answer these questions when you understand the basics and fundamentals. So what are the key trend when you observe this question paper? So environment, they asked 16 questions, especially it relates to the global climate related issues. And polity, obviously, as usual, you can easily get 18 questions. Even though there are so many statements in the polity questions, all the questions, in all those questions, you can easily eliminate 1 or 2 statements. You can easily arrive the answers. So the questions are really easy when it comes to polity, I would say. So history, when it comes to history, 15 questions. So it is maintaining the normal trend. When it comes to science and tech, yes, the questions are really difficult when it comes to certain questions. For example, in the cement manufacturing questions, so these questions, they gave 3 statements. So if you know the 2 statements, then only you can answer the third statement. So these kind of new things they introduced in this 2025 paper. Fine. So when it comes to statement type of questions, they gave 70% of weightage to statement questions. So statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. So these 3 statements, they ask like statement 1, 2 and 3 are correct, and these 2 statements are both statements are necessary to answer the statement 1. Likewise they asked. So for this, you need to know about the statement 2, and you need to also know about statement 3 and also statement 1. And also you need to understand what they given in the options correctly, because the wordings tend to confuse you. So you need to have the clear idea about what they are giving in the clear literal meaning about what they given in the options correctly. Then only you can answer. Even though if you know the answer, you should know the literal meaning of the options. So when it comes to statement type questions, 70% of questions are based on the statement type. And match the pairing, 15 questions. And when it comes to that only 1, only 2, they increased those numbers. Here they asked so many questions falls under the category of only 1 statement, only 2 statements is correct or correct, only 3 statement, none. So So the UPSC Prelims examination is getting tougher and tougher. That means you need to know the answer for each statements. Then only you can able to answer the question. If you know only one statement, you cannot able to answer like those previous years. Fine. So these are all the trends in 2025 paper. So I would compare this 2025 paper with the previous year papers also. Fine. Then you would know how the trend is. Yes, you can see when it comes to polity, normally they ask 15 to 17 questions and all. So, for example, in 2017, they asked 26 questions in the polity itself. This is the highest number they asked in 2017. So, this year they asked 18 questions in it. Fine. So, when it comes to economy, so they asked 12 questions. So, when you see the overall then trend, it is going down. Okay. So, 12 questions. So when it comes to science and technology, it is also maintaining its numbers. So it is getting up. Fine. So when it comes to modern India also, the questions are same. Actually, it is also going down. Earlier, they were used to ask 18 questions in 2016. Now it is reduced to 7 numbers. So these are all the overall analysis of how the questions are asked from 2013 to 2025 from today onwards. Fine. So for this year, polity occupies the highest number of questions. So when it comes to previous year, the environment questions is increased in this year. So what are the key insights you can get from this? This polity remains the king. That means polity. So if you exactly know the static part in all the subjects, when it comes to polity, when it comes to economy, even when it comes to geography and history. So even though if you did not prepare well for the current affairs, you can easily clear this. If you understand the fundamentals in a right manner. Fine. So what is the takeaway for 2026? So always give the priority to these static topics first. Then you can go for the current affairs. You need to know the current affairs corresponding subjects, but always give prime importance to the static part in the essential subjects. Fine. So these are all the trends they followed when compared with the previous years. So with that, now we are going to individually take every subject. Okay. So first we are going to start with history, geography, and then we'll go with polity, economy. So we will see the answers and some explanation for these questions. So this is Prakash, hope you know. So academic coordinator, JDAX. So here I'm handing over to our history expert, Mr. Vignesh. Yes, Vignesh. Excuse me. Yes, Vignesh. First geography. First history open பண்ணிட்டேன். Scroll பண்ணிக்கலாம். If you want to write, welcome. Wait பண்ணுங்க. Very good evening. Welcome to this examination discussion.
Very good evening. Welcome to today's civil service examinations preliminary exam question paper discussion. I am Vigneswaran. Now we are going to discuss about the today's question paper, especially from the topics of ancient, medieval, modern, art and culture, geography, and map related questions. Always history is curious to know how the UPSC is asking from the history related topics. Sometimes UPSC asks directly from recommendable sources, some static books. Sometimes they ask from the current affairs related, current event related. But as a whole, this paper is completely moderate, especially from static part. Some of the few questions are from current affairs part. Now we will discuss one by one. The famous question, the irrigation device called Arakata. Arakata is known as the Arakata device is known as, it is actually a Latin word. Ara means spokes, kata means part. The word, the literal meaning of the Arakata, it describes itself, its meaning. Actually, it is a previous year question. The same question was repeated. It is, I think, the UPSC's favorite topic, Arakata. It is an Iranian irrigation practice. It was practiced during the ancient time of India. It's nothing but in the countryside, you can see that a biggest wheel is having part to drain the water from the wells to the irrigation of the paddy lands. This kind of same kind of method is there. The same wheel will be there. In this wheel, there will be a wheel. In this wheel, there will this spokes is known as aram. In Tamil also, it's known as aram means spokes. Arakata means kata means part. We will see one by one the water bag made of leather pulled over a pulley. No, a large wheel with earthen parts tied to the outer ends of the spokes. It exactly denotes the word arakata. Spokes means ara, parts means kata. So the option B is the exactly right answer. We will see the option C, a larger earthen part driven by bullocks. No, a larger water buckets pulled up by the rope directly by hand. It's a normal method. It usually practiced by our people to fetch the water from the wells. So all three other options are wrong except B. B is the right answer. Now we will move to the next question. Next question is, who among the following rulers in ancient India had assumed the titles of Mattavilasa, Vichitrachitta and Punabara? Actually, these are the titles given to the Pallava king Mahendravarman. Mahendravarma was the greatest patronage of art and culture of South India, especially Tamil Nadu. They had the capital at Kanchipuram and Mamallapuram. He is famous for his greatest contribution is famous for Mattavilakasa Prakashanam and Jambavati Kalyanam. These are the two famous works written by Mahendravarman. This Vichitrachitta, the word itself describes that he is an innovative person. He introduced many innovation in arts of sculptures and construction of towers, buildings, especially temples. So this question directly describes the first Mahendravarma Pallavan. So answer A is the right answer. Other three are irrelevant to that question. Simha Vishnu, Narasimhavarman, Sambavarman are not related to that, not related to this title. Vichitrachitta and Mattavilasa is a famous term. Kunabara is a new term. We have to, it is present in the NCERT, but it's not familiarized. Through this question, the term Kunabara is familiarized. Now let's move to the next topic, that is Faxian, the Chinese pilgrim, traveled to India during the reign of. It is a very, very famous question. It is most repeated question of UPSC. Actually, three persons traveled from China to India. First one is Faxian, second one is Yuansang, third one is Itzing. The first person, Faxian, he wrote the book called Fukuangyi. He came to India after the 1 or 2 centuries after the demise of the Lord Buddha, he came to India for the missionary activities. He wanted to collect the works and remnants of the Buddhist culture and traditional values of in present in India. He during the time in the 5th century AD, Samudragupta was the Chandragupta II was the king who ruled in India. It is the Guptan time who ruled India. Next, now we move to the territorial areas and rivers. It is a new to UPSC. Always UPSC proves it's as the Unpredictable Service Commission. Here they listed out some of the rivers, and in the other side they listed out some of the regions. We have to connect which region is connected to the which river. Now the first Asmaha. Asmaha is an Andhra region. It's directly denotes the Godavari region. So it's directly connects that it's the Asmaha. Correct answer. Second one is Cambodia. Cambodia is a Afghanistan-Pakistan border area. Cambodia. Vibas. Vibas means Pias. Pias is one of the Panch rivers of the Indus system. We know that Indus is having Indus, Zelam, Zenab, Ravi, Bias, Sutlej. The Bias is known as, it's also known as Vipas. The Cambodia region and the Vipas region is adjacent to each other, even though it is a disputable that Cambodia is directly comes under the drainage of Vipas. Let's consider, and we will conclude after that solving the other two pairs. And also we know that Avanti is present day Ujjain. Ujjain is a Indian middle west part of India. Ujjain is exactly opposite region of Mahanadi. Ujjain in the west region, Mahanadi in the east region. Mahanadi flows in the Odisha, majorly flows in the Odisha, but it's not comes under the Mahanadi region. So option 3, third pair is mismatched. Next, we move to the Kosala. Kosala, we know that Kosala means Kosala Raman. Raman was born in the Sarayu river bank. So we know that Kosala is in Kosala region. The Sarayu is exactly matched with each other. According to our predictions, option 1, Asmaha is Godavari is directly connects. Kosala, Sarayu is directly connects. But only 2 pair is correct. Absolutely. But if we consider Cambodia is adjacent to the Vipas, the Pias river, that is Punjab river, Punjab region. Vipas, the Pias is majorly flowing in the Punjab province of the Pakistan region. So may consider this option only 2 or only 3. If UPSC gives Cambodia region is drained by Vipas, the option is only 3. If it is not considered, only 2 is the right answer. So option may be B or C. Next question, that the first Kandharva Mahavidyalaya, a music training school, was set up in 1901 by Vishnu Tigambar Paluskar. It's a current affairs based question because the greatest musician Vishnu Tigambar Paluskar was celebrated for his 150th birth anniversary by the central government. So it was remembered by our Honorable Prime Minister of India during his celebration speech. So it was happened that Kandharva Mahavidyalaya is a music school. It was the first kind of music school started in India, erstwhile United India. It's in Lahore, Punjab region of Lahore. So option D is the right answer. Every year the celebrations of in the memory of Tigambar Paluskar is conducted in this region. Not only in that region, many music traditions comes out from the Tigambar Paluskar. Is followed by its followers. It was remembered during all the traditional festivals, occasions in northern part of India, especially northwestern part of India. Next, we will move to the next question. Asokan inscriptions suggest that Pradeshika, Rajuka, Yugda are important officers of the region. We know that Asoka was the patron of Buddha. he promoted Buddhist kind of administration, welfare state. So he had proper hierarchical level of administration, that is central level administration, provincial level administration, district level administration, village level administration. In this hierarchy, that Pradeshika denotes the district level administration. Rajuka, Yukta, Rajuka means surveyor, Yukta means tax collector. These three terms are associated with the district level administration of Asoka. Asoka was the greatest Mauryan emperor. He was known for his battle of Kalinga. After the battle of Kalinga, he transformed into Buddhism. For the promotion of Buddhism, he followed the missionary activities. He sent the missionaries, his own son Mahendra and daughter Sangamitra, to the foreign countries. And also he promoted the Buddhist ideologies through the inscriptions and pillars. These kind of inscriptions denotes his administration. This inscription mentioned the terms followed by the Asoka's empire, that is Pradeshika and Rajuka and Yukta. So this is district level administration. Option B is the right answer. Some of you friends called me and spoke about this discussion. Pradesh means present day Pradesh. Province, they are misunderstood and misjudged as provincial. So it's not a province, it's a district. So answer B is the right answer. Next, we will move to the next question. Next question is the female figurine known as dancing girl found in the Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro is our treasure of our culture. It promotes our Indian heritage, cultural values of India, so that only every year UPSC asks questions from the Harappan, that is Indus Valley civilization. We know that Indus Valley civilization is also called as Bronze Age. So in the dancing girl is a symbol of this Bronze Age. It is a very, very, very easy question because there is Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization is also known as Bronze Age. This dancing girl statue was also made from the bronze. So answer B, C is the right answer. So it is a very easy question, direct question. If you know that this Mohenjo-daro is from Indus Valley civilization, Indus Valley civilization is also called as Bronze Age. This dancing girl is also known for his Indus Bronze Age. Now let's move into a medieval Indian history. The medieval Indian history, they asked about unsung heroes of Hindu patriot, unsung heroes of leaders who promoted Indian traditional values. Medieval India is known for Delhi Sultanate and Mughal Emperor, but the recent trend shows that the UPSC is directly focusing on the medieval India's unsung heroes. They promoted to protect their culture, they protected their values, traditions. So who among the following led a successful military campaign against the kingdom of the Srivijaya? Srivijaya is a South Asian island, that is Malaya, Singapore, Andaman Nicobar Islands. This powerful maritime state, which ruled by Malay Peninsula, Sumatra, Java and neighboring states. We know that external aggression during the medieval time was done by many rulers. But the southeast region was conquered by the Chola Empire. The Chola Empire was known for Rajaraja Chola and his son Rajendra Chola. So we can find only one Chola, that is Rajendra Chola. There is no doubt about that question. So answer C is the right answer. Rajendra Chola is the right answer. Rashtrakuta, Kakatiya, Hoysalas are known for medieval powerful kingdoms of South India. But that the Chola region, Chola kingdom had the powerful hand in this shipping. They had the connection with Malay, Singapore, and Sri Lanka. This Bay of Bengal became the Chola Lake because the term Chola Lake denotes the East Bay of Bengal. It describes how the Chola Empire was most powerful in this medieval time. They controlled the trade and powerful military operations in the Bay of Bengal. So, if we know that answers, there is no doubt. Answer C is the right answer. Rajendra Chola is the right answer. Now, let's move into the next question, that is our favorable modern Indian history. Modern Indian history here starts with Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He was a social religious reformer. He was a nightingale. He was a awakening, enlightenment giver to India. So he promoted Brahma Samaj for his ideology. But he acquired many ideologies from all the sources. He chose best from all. So the first statement describes the same. He possessed a great love and respect of the traditional philosophical system of the East. We know that if you have love and interest, then only you can follow, then only you can promote. He promoted the Eastern philosophical system, Eastern values. He questioned everything. Why it was happened, what it was happened, what is the reason I want to follow this person. So he applied this philosophical, Eastern philosophical ideologies, so that only he promoted it. So this is the right answer. He desired his countrymen to accept the rational scientific approach and the principle of human dignity and social equality of all men and women. This is obviously correct answer. He is the greatest social reformer. He started purification of Indian minds towards the Atma Sakti, that is called as self-reliance. So both statements are correct. Answer both 1 and 2 is the right answer. C is the right answer. Now let's move to the next question. This is related to the non-cooperation. I think the non-cooperation is a favorite topic to the UPSC. They asked 2 questions from the non-cooperation. Non-cooperation is the masterstroke of Mahatma Gandhi in the Gandhian movement during the Indian national movement. The non-cooperation started at the eve of Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and also earlier Gandhi started all India level satyagraha, but it was a failure. After that, Gandhi was very calm and well planned. He started non-cooperation movement. During the announcement of the non-cooperation movement, Gandhi said, "If you follow my words, for 2 years, India will get Swaraj within 2 years." This is the courage and confidence movement started. Now, let's see the features of the non-cooperation movement. They gave four features. First one is boycott of law courts and foreign club. This is the symbol of non-cooperation. Non-cooperation means I will not cooperate with the government. So law courts are not practiced by Indian laws, and also not only the petty shop owners they are not buy and sell the foreign cloths and foreign products. It was reflected in all levels of Indian administration by the Indians. So this is boycott of law courts and foreign cloth by the advocates is the right answer. Observance of the strict non-violence. Violence is the always enemy of Gandhi. Some way doubt about strict. What is meant by strict? Always strict. There is no excuse to the non-violence in the terms of Gandhi. So second term also right. Retention of the titles and honors without using them in public. It's wrong. Gandhi is a renunciator of the titles. Gandhi gave up his titles given by the British government. Gandhi opposed the British government. I am opposing you. Why I want your titles? So he gave up his titles. This retention is not wrong. Repulsion is right. So it is a non-cooperation. During the non-cooperation movement, another one person, there is Rabindranath Tagore, who also gave up his titles. So these are the third statement is absolutely wrong. Fourth statement, establishment of the panchayat for settling the disputes. This is obviously right. So 3 statements are right. Third statement is wrong because retention of the titles is wrong. Some may do careless mistake during this attending this question because retention may be misunderstood during the pressure. So we should be careful while attending this question. So third statement is wrong. 1, 2, 4 is right. So only 3 statements are right. Fourth statement is wrong. Next, again non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement. In this question, they asked about Congress, non-cooperation movement. The Congress declared Swaraj. Congress declared Swaraj. Attainment of Swaraj by all legitimate and peaceful means to be its objective. Yes, I already told you. During the announcement of the non-cooperation movement itself, Gandhi announced this movement is objective, very objective of the non-cooperation movement is for Swaraj, self-rule. It was to be implemented in stages with the self-distribution, non-payment of taxes for the stage only if Swaraj didn't come within the year and the government resorted to repression. Both the statements are correct. Gandhi planned for civil disobedience even during the non-cooperation itself, but unfortunately we had Sauri Chowra incident. Gandhi's entire plan was collapsed. We should not continue this non-cooperation movement into civil disobedience movement. So Sauri Chowra, during the Sauri Chowra movement, Gandhi withdrew the non-cooperation movement. This was, rest was history. So both of the statements are right. Answer C is the right answer. C is the right answer. Next, we will move to the next question. Sedition become my religion was the famous statement given by Gandhi at the time of, during the Gandhi Dandi March. After the civil disobedience movement, Gandhi attended a second roundtable conference at London. But the second roundtable conference was deadlock. After that, Government of India Act was enacted with the White Paper on Government of India Act 1933. Government of India Act was enacted in 1935. Before that, we should know that government had the compulsion, or British government had a compulsion to conduct the statutory meeting with the Indian people to formulate the new laws for governing, that is constitution. After the 1919 Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, government assured that after 10 years we will amend and we will renew and give permission to the government to rule India after the 10 years. For that, government announced Simon Commission, a statutory commission in 1927, is an all-white commission. It was opposed by many people. So, because no Indian member is represented, so Congress also opposed it. To oppose that, we all started our own constitution making body with the head of Motilal Nehru. That is committee. That is report was known as Motilal Nehru report. After that, Gandhi started the civil disobedience movement. Civil disobedience movement means I will not obey your law. Earlier, before 10 years in 1920s, he proclaimed, I will not cooperate with you. Now I will not obey. It's a violation of the law. I will not obey your law. For the symbol of violation, Gandhi had the march from Sabarmati to Dandi from March 12 to April 6, 24 days in 1931. In this time, 240 miles he walked. In this walk, he announced the sedition has become my religion. Sedition has become my religion. To show that civil disobedience. So this is Chambaran Salt March, the salt law violation at the Dandi March. So this is right. Chambaran Satyagraha is a very early stages of Gandhian Satyagraha movement in India, in international movement. The second one is attending the second roundtable conference in London. It's not wrong. It became the deadlock over the issue of separate electorate for Dalits, depressed class. So this is not wrong. This is not right. Satya Samran is not right. Quit India movement is absolutely wrong. So during the time of Second World War, Quit India movement was started. So option B is the exactly correct answer. Now let's move to next. Next question, who provided legal defense to the people arrested in the aftermath of the Chauri Chaura incident? We know that after the Chauri Chaura incident, non-cooperation movement was withdrawn. Chauri Chaura is an event, it happened during the anti-liquor procession in the Chauri Chaura village of the Uttar Pradesh. During the procession, a police station was fired by these protesters. Many policemen, 22 policemen was killed in the fire. Gandhi opposed this, vehemently opposed this movement because Gandhi wanted to promote the non-violence, that is ahimsa. But in the name of ahimsa, in the name of Satyagraha movement, the 22 policemen were killed. It's not tolerable. So he withdrew. So, and also many people were arrested. Those who are present in this movement, anti-liquor movement in the Chauri Chaura region. So Gandhi went through isolation. He don't want to participate in the direct politics. Gandhi was arrested by Lord Reading. He was the Governor General of India at the time. At the time, there was a political vacuum. This political vacuum was filled by C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. That they formed the party. Party is known as Swarajya Party. Swarajya Party was started in Alipur Jail. So we know that the Chauri Chaura incident happened in 1922. There many people were arrested. The arrested people were defended by C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. Sitaranjan Das. Answer A is the right answer. Madan Mohan Malaviya, Krishna Kant, Saifuddin Kichlu, Khwaja Khan Nizami, M.A. Jinnah is not the right answer. Now let's move to next question, that is Harijan movement. They asked about the Harijan movement. Subsequent to the which one of the following, when Gandhiji, who consistently opposed untouchability and appealed for its eradication from all the spheres, decided to include the upliftment of the Harijans and his political and social program. There was many curious movements happened. After the return of Gandhi from London to India, he was imprisoned. After the deadlock, Gandhi and Ambedkar had different opinion about the representation of Dalits, separate electorate for Dalits and depressed classes. Gandhi was in prison, he was in fasting unto death. Many leaders trying to convince him to end the fasting, but Ambedkar went there. There was a more discussion about the Harijans, that is depressed classes. Ambedkar convinced there was an agreement between Gandhi and Ambedkar that is known as Pune Pact. As per the Pune Pact, separate electorate was neglected. Reservation was given to Dalit and depressed people. During this Pune Pact, Gandhi announced depressed class are people of God, that Jans of Hari, Lord Hari. So that is known as Harijans. So it directly describes about Pune Pact. After the Pune Pact, Gandhi underwent a tour towards all slum areas of India. That during that campaign, the campaign was known as Harijan campaign. During this campaign only, he promoted the slogan of Swachh Bharat. This same Swachh Bharat campaign was started by the present government as a new scheme. It was happened Harijan. To remember this Gandhi's ideology, it was started on the birth anniversary of Gandhi, October 2 in 2019. Now let's move to the next question. It is a self-respect movement. The question related to current affairs because self-respect movement was started in 1925 in Estoil, Madras province by the EVR Periyar as a self-respect as a tool for upliftment and eradication of the superstitions, rituals in India. He was a socio-religious reformer in South India, in Tamil Nadu. So self-respect movement, as the continuation of the self-respect movement, there was a satyagraha happened in Vaikam Satyagraha. The Vaikam hero, the EVR became the Vaikam hero. So EVR Ramasamy was the head of the self-respect movement. Who among the following is the founder of the self-respect movement? This is the yes, anti-superstition, anti-ritual movement. It promoted equality and promotion of the women in all the spheres. It promoted self-respect marriages. Marriages without priest is known as self-respect marriages. It was promoted by EVR Periyar. So it is a famous person. Next, that's all about all history, ancient, medieval, modern questions. Now let's move to the geography related questions. There are 8 questions asked from the geography and map areas. Now we will see one by one that the first question speaks about, consider the following countries. They listed out 6 countries: Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Venezuela. Most of the countries are from South America. Andes Mountain passed through how many of the above countries? We know that this is South America. Andes Mountain runs from north to south in the North America, the South American continent. North America is present there. Let's consider this is a map of South American continent. Now we'll see one by one. Among the all, Brazil is the easternmost part of South America. Andes Mountain is not runs to Brazil. So, and Brazil is mostly known for its forest, Mason forest and plain areas. No, Andes Mountain is related with this region. And also Paraguay is a southern eastern part of South America. So these 2 countries are not related to Andes Mountain. Other 4 countries are related. So Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, all 4 countries are related to that. So answer, Andes Mountain pass through how many of the above countries? Only 4 countries are passes through it. That Brazil and Paraguay are eastern part of South American continent. So it will not be part of Andes range. Now let's move to the next. It's a very important current affairs related map question. In this question, Lake Tankania is a very, very important lake. It was circulated in the news about the biodiversity conservation movement was started in the Central African region. It's an African lake. It's situated in this region. Near to Zambia, Congo region. Ecuador is passing through it. It's stringing, Lake Tankania is stringing down. So it was mentioned in the news, environmental related areas. It was mentioned in the news. So, what is the question? We will see. Consider the following statement, following water bodies: Lake Tankania, Lake Tonle Sap, Patos Lagoon. Through how many of them does the equator pass? Equator is the imaginary line which divides the earth into two hemispheres, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. That Lake Tonle Sap is in Cambodia. Patos Lagoon is in South America, in Brazil. So these two water bodies are not in the line of equator. Lake Tankania is only water body which is located in the equator line. So only one is right answer. Only one water body is one equator is passing through only one water body. So other two water bodies are not correct. So answer A only is the right. It is a moderately tough question. Everyone don't know about Tonle Sap, but all the three water bodies are current affairs related. So we will see. Next, this is some analytical subjective question. They gave two statements. First statement, the amount of dust particles in the atmosphere is more in the subtropical and temperate areas than in the equator and polar regions. Let's consider this is equator, this is Tropic of Cancer, this is Tropic of Capricorn. This region is known as tropical region. This northern part of Tropic of Cancer is known as subtropical region. And this part is known as pole region. This part is known as pole region. The amount of dust particle in the atmosphere is more in the subtropical and temperate areas. This is known as subtropical and temperate areas because this region is moderately dry. There is no moisture, there is no evaporation, condensation, and rainfall. So there is no precipitation. Due to the absence of the precipitation, the dust particles in the atmosphere is very high. There is no option to settle down from the atmosphere. So first statement is exactly describes that scenario of atmosphere. Second, subtropical and temperate areas have less dry wind. Dry winds are there, but less dry winds are not there. More dry winds are there. It's a dry region. There is no precipitation. There is no condensation. There is no evaporation. So dry winds are more, not less. Subtropical and temperate areas have more dry winds. So second statement is wrong. First statement is right. So statement 1 is right, statement 2 is wrong, C is the right answer. Now let's move to the next question. This is a time zone based question. After the long time UPSC asked this kind of analytical questions. It is a time consuming and also well informed persons can answer this question. Now let's see. In January, in northern hemisphere, the isotherms went equatorward while crossing the land masses, poleward while crossing the oceans. Second statement, in January, the air over the oceans is warmer than that over the land masses in the northern hemisphere. Which of the following is correct in respect of the above statement? We will see one by one. Before that, we know that Earth is divided by equator into two hemispheres, that is northern hemisphere and southern hemispheres. During the January time, northern hemisphere is having winter. Northern hemisphere is having relatively high cool temperature than the southern hemisphere because the apparent movement of the sun is mostly lying in Tropic of Cancer in January in northern hemisphere. The isotherms, what is meant by isotherms? Isotherms are the lines which denotes the equal temperature of the region. That is isotherms. Iso means similar, therms means temperature. The line which connects the similar temperature of the regions. Bend equator word. Bend equator word. Let's say this is means by isotherm means bend equator word means it's bend equator word. While crossing the land masses, the isotherm bend towards land masses on the poleward while crossing the oceans. What is the difference of heat capacity of the oceans and the land? Actually, water is having more heat capacity than the land, because lands get heated very easily and cool down very easily, but oceans get heated slowly and also holds the heat for more amount of time and also releases losses the heat slowly. This is the nature of the land and ocean. So during the winter season, we are in the northern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, there are two parts, land and ocean is there. During the land areas, the heat capacity is very less. Comparatively, thus land area is getting more temperature than the ocean, because ocean is having more cold because it is having the more heat capacity. So ocean is having relatively high temperature than the land. So if there is a high temperature, it should bend towards equator word, while poleward during the ocean it bend towards the poleward. So first statement is obviously right. During the isotherm is an imaginary line. It connects the similar temperature regions. In the northern hemisphere, January is the winter region. During the January time, the land area is comparatively cooler than water bodies, because water is having more amount of heat capacity. So water, the temperature of the water bodies is having relatively high temperature than the land. So during the water bodies, ocean bodies, the isotherm will be equator word. While crossing the land, the temperature is very less. So it's most the isotherms shows the poleward. The first statement is absolutely right. Second statement, in January, the air over the ocean is warmer than over the land masses in the northern hemisphere. It exactly reconfirms the first statement. The second statement is the reason for the first statement's answer. So both the statements are right and also correct explanation. So answer A is the answer. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 explain the statement 1. Now move to next question. It is a very interesting question. Next question is an interesting question, because in the context of water, effect of water on the rocks, chalk is known as very permeable. What's mean by permeable? Permeability is the capacity of the soil or rock which allows the water to flow into that region, into deeper. That is permeability. The different rocks, different soils are having different kind of permeability rate. In the mountains, there are different kind of deposits forms in the rocks. So based on their sediments, based on the deposits, the permeability may vary from vary. The chalk they spoke about. First, we will read in the context effect of the water on the rock. Chalks is known as a very permeable rock, whereas clay is known as a quite an impermeable and the least permeable rock. Yes, we know that chalk is a karst topography. We can find more aquifers on the karst topography. Chalk and limestone are the very permeable materials, very permeable rocks, because the space between the molecules of the chalk particles is very high, so it can allow the water to penetrate into it. So first statement is exactly correct. It correctly describes about it. Second, chalk is porous. Obviously, correct. Hence, can absorb water. Obviously, correct. More aquifers are there, and also karst topography is very interesting topography. Many tourist places of in world is having karst topography only. There are karst pillar, karst arch. There are so many geographical patterns can be formed in the karst region due to the porosity. There is a very essential thing is that the porosity of the chalk is reason for formation of the caves, the limestone caves, chalk caves. Clay is not at all porous. We know that clay is a impermeable, least permeable material because the particles are very smaller, very fine particles present in the clay. The space between the molecules present in the clay is very less, so it having less capacity to allow water to impermeable into the clay. But it's not defines that clay is not at all permeable. Clay permits the water some extent, but the flow of water and the volume of water, the speed of the water is very less. It means is less porous. It not porous. It not describes about it's not porous. So not at all porous is a highly extreme statement, and also it's a totally wrong statement. So we cannot say clay is not at all porous. During the first statement, they also state that least permeable rock. Yes, clay is least permeable. It does not mean not at all permeable. So third statement is wrong. First statement is right. Second statement is right. Both statements 1 and 2 are right. Third statement is wrong. So option B is the right answer. Both statement 2 and 3 are correct, but only one of them explain the statement 1. B is the right answer. Now let's move to the next question. Consider the following statements about atmosphere. We know that Earth is having blanket of atmosphere. Atmosphere is acting as a blanket. It restricts the solar radiation, and also it controls the redirection of the rays from Earth to the space. So let's consider this is Earth, this is the atmosphere. This is atmosphere only act as a barrier to restrict the solar radiation. Without the atmosphere, temperature would be well below the freezing point every year on the Earth's surfaces. We know that solar radiation, let's consider this is sun. This is Earth. If there is an atmosphere, it protects the Earth from the solar radiation. At the same time, in this direction, there will be very cold because it redirects the temperature to the atmosphere. Due to the layer of atmosphere only, it circulates into the Earth, so that only the average Earth temperature is maintained. If there is no atmosphere, we can know that due to the solar radiation, sun's rays directly hit the Earth, the temperature will be very high in one side. On the other side, during the daytime, sun's radiation will be very high, the temperature will be very high. At the same time, during the night time, due to the absence of the atmosphere, the radiation is redirection of the radiation from the Earth is very high. It loses its heat, Earth loses its heat very easily. So in this direction, the freezing temperature will be there, colding temperature will be there. So this statement is wrong. Everywhere on the Earth's surface is wrong. During the opposite direction, that is during the night time, the freezing temperature will be there. In the daytime, high temperature will be there. The first statement is absolutely wrong. Second statement, heat absorbed and trapped by the atmosphere maintains our planet's average temperature, is absolutely right. It best describes about the phenomenon of atmosphere present in the Earth, about the temperature. Third statement, temperature gases like carbon dioxide are particularly good at absorbing, trapping radiation. This is known as greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases absorbs the heat and also does not allow back to the space. So second and the third statement is right. First statement is wrong because the word everywhere is present. Thus everywhere is wrong. So one side is having freezing point, another side is having extreme boiling temperature will be there. So first statement is wrong, second statement is right, third statement is right. So let's see the answer. Answer 2 and 3 is the right answer. If there is a first statement is, if there is a first statement is right, all the three, if there is a first statement is right, all the three will be eliminated. We have only one option. If you find in the exam, if you find that in exam, it will be very easy because if you know that functioning of the atmosphere, the first statement is absolutely wrong. So if first statement is wrong means all three options are wrong. So there is no way to consider second and third. It is obviously right. D is the right answer. Next, move to time zones. Consider the following countries: UK, Denmark, New Zealand, Australia, Brazil. How many of the above countries have more than 4 time zones? Time zones is based on apparent movement of the sun over the region for a particular time period to calculate the days for the calendar years. United Kingdom is having only 1 year. Denmark is having one calendar time zone. New Zealand is having 2 time zones. Northern New Zealand, Southern New Zealand is having different time zones. Australia, Brazil is having more than 3-4 time zones because the Australia is in the southern part of the Pacific Ocean and also Indian Ocean. So it's having more than 4 time zones. And also Brazil is having more than 4 time zones. So answer only 2, 3 in Australia and Brazil is the right. So only 2 is the right answer. How many of the above countries have more than 4 time zones? It's very easy to find. Brazil and Australia. Some may think that United Kingdom is having overseas region, but we should think about the mainland of the UK. Mainland of the UK is having only 1 time zone. So answer D is the right answer. Next question is a very, very interesting and innovative question about the days and time zone. Anadyr in Siberia and Nome in Alaska are few kilometers from the each other part. But when people are getting set for breakfast in these cities, it would be different days. When Monday in Anadyr, Tuesday in Nome. First, we should know the map. Anadyr, it's in Northern America. Alaska is present there. Alaska is the US administered territory. There is a Russian territories are there. Nome is there. In the geographical area, Nome is eastern to the Alaska. It means Nome is having sunrise earlier than the Alaska. Nome is a Siberian state. It is a territory of Russia. Alaska is a US territory. Both are 21 hours different time zones. 21 hours time zones. For example, Anadyr, that is Anadyr, is having Saturday. That Alaska is having Friday. that is nome is having failed because the time zone is calculated from this. So first statement is directly explains about the time zones, how it is demarcated. Anadir in Siberia, Nome in Alaska are a few kilometers from each other. But when people are waking up and getting set for the breakfast in this, it would be different days. Yes. Anadir is having one earlier day, one later day than the Nome. When it is Monday in Anadir, it is Tuesday in the Nome. No, it is Sunday in the Nome. Because Sunday is having Nome. As per the calendar days, Nome is having yearly day than the Anadi during the contemporary similar time. So first statement is right, second statement is wrong, only one is the right answer. So thank you so much for viewing this previous year, today's question paper. Today's question paper is very important. Now Prakash sir will continue about the session. Now this history and geography part describes about the history and geography part describes about how the UPSC set the question paper, because this is having complex areas. It also covers current affairs, because we saw that the 100th year of self-respect movement, E.V.R. Periyar was asked, and also always green area of green apple of UPSC, that is Asoka edicts. Always, if you find the paper, question paper of UPSC civil service, you always find the Asoka. And also many Gandhian related questions were there, and also non-cooperation related questions were there, because the non-cooperation movement's impulses were cherished to the national movement. It was promoted during the 75th anniversary of India. During the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Mahatma Gandhi was remembered by the speech of Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji. And also some few questions from South India, that is Pallava and Rajendra Chola was asked in this examination. The Mahendra Varma Pallavan's art and cultural contributions was asked, and also Rajendra Chola's military campaign was asked. They wanted to check how we prepared for the history topic. Always people believe that history is always wanted to know the hierarchy and the family history, family story, family related areas. Once again, UPSC proved that they focused on contributions, art and cultural contributions, political contributions, administrative valor, courage. So they asked this Pallava Mahendra Varma is known for his art and cultural contribution. Rajendra Cholan for his military campaign, valor, courage to conquer the entire South Asian island regions, so that only that Bay of Bengal became the Chola Lake. And also they focused on that socio-religious reformer. That question was innovative, inspiring statement, because that Brahma Samaja founder Rajaram Mohan Rai was known for his radical ideas to promote the equality, to preach ideas against the superstition rituals. But he promoted his ideas in his magazine known as Samvat Kaumudi. In his Samvat Kaumudi, he translated the Upanishads into Bengali and Hindi and English. It shows that how he loved Indian tradition and loved ideologies of East. East means Eastern world. And also his values were promoted by his ideal institutions, Brahma Samaj. And also that very interesting question asked by UPSC is some of the regions and also related to the rivers. That Godavari is known for his Asmaka region. How the Kaveri is known for his Chola region, Chola Mandalam. Similarly, Vaigai is known for Pandya region. That Asmaha region is known for that Asmaha is known for that Godavari region. Kalinga region is known for Mahanadi. Instead of Kalinga, they put the term, the place Ujjain. Ujjain is in the western part of India. It's known for Triveni, one of the Triveni Sangam. That Kala temple that in the world, India is the only country is having temple for time. That is Ujjain temple. Kala. Similarly, other questions from geography are very quite normal. Some of the few questions are asked from, they gave more focus, more importance to the time zones and location-based maps, that is Andes Mountain. We have to know which are the countries are connecting to the related to the Andes Mountain, and also the South African country, the lakes, that Lake Tanganyika, Lake Lacoon, and Sunglobe. These are the three important lakes which were frequently mentioned in the news. And also some theory-related questions, isotherms, equator word, pole word bend of these areas. Now, with this, we conclude our today's Civil Service Examination 2025 morning session. Now, we will see other subjects by our experts from our institution. We will see one by one. So we can conclude that we should focus on current affairs as well as static part. If you know the static part, then only you can link this current affairs with the static part. If you know the current affairs, then only you can extract the points from the static part. So wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay, ED, right? It enforces three important laws. One among the law is Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. Usually, it be enforcing the FEMA and then PMLA. Apart from that, it enforces Fugitive Economic Offenders Act also, but it is not an organization under Ministry of Home Affairs. So one is wrong. Revenue Intelligence. So it's part of the Department of Revenue and Ministry of Finance, and it enforces the provisions of Customs Act 1962. Yes, of course, with respect to smuggling of contraband goods and all. So they'll be enforcing Customs Act to protect that. And when it comes to Directorate General of Systems and Data Management, it's just a data management agency. It is also coming under Department of Revenue, but it is not coming under big data analytics to assist tax officers for better policy and nabbing tax evasion. So it's some other agency, right? So for example, the agency related to this is Directorate General of Analytics and Risk Management. So it's a kind of moderate to tough questions we used to say. So only one statement is correct. Answer A. For question number 33, choice A. When it comes to question number 34, so here they have given the Reserve Bank of India mandates all the listed companies in India to submit a business responsibility and sustainability report. Statement 1 and statement 2, in India, a company submits that report, makes disclosure in the report that largely non-financial in nature. It's also, again, I can see this question, for somebody it may be tough, for majority of them it may be moderate, but it is not easy one. But there is a trick or there is a clue, it is there in the question paper itself, because RBI mandates all the listed companies in India to submit a report. Why RBI has to mandates all listed companies? Listed companies are listed in the stock exchanges. So it is usually the responsibility of SEBI. RBI has no business with that, mandating listing companies to do this, that and all. RBI is the regulator of banking sector. Okay, so 1 is not our answer. You can easily eliminate 1. And when it comes to 2, so here you have to apply your logic so that you can answer. So this report, since it is saying about business responsibility and sustainability involves environment, okay, business responsibility involves customer satisfaction, human rights. So these kind of responsibility, how they are having, so that has to be factored in the report. Okay, so generally non-financial aspects will be coming in the report as per the fact. So the statement is fact. Okay, you can make a guess and you can go for second statement only correct. So answer is B. So that's why I said it is moderate for many and tough for somebody. And then question number 36. Yeah. So here, agriculture in India, income from allied agricultural activities like poultry farming, wool rearing in rural areas is exempted from any tax, right? And then in India, statement 2, rural agricultural land is not considered a capital asset under the provisions of IT Act. So this is an easy question. Why? Because you see here they have said that it is exempted from any tax. What if a poultry farming or wool rearing, it may not be taxed by union government, but state may impose tax, right? So you cannot say that agricultural income is also not taxed under IT Act, but state may tax agriculture. So it doesn't mean that agriculture will not be taxed anywhere. So this any tax is the key here, you can easily eliminate. So it is taxable even under the Income Tax Act. In India, rural agriculture land is not considered as a capital asset. Yes. So it will not be considered as a capital asset with respect to capital gains tax, which is again also under IT Act. It's a straightforward statement. By knowing some basics about the capital gains tax, you can easily narrow down this statement also. Otherwise also no issue. 1 is wrong. Statement 1 is not correct. Statement 2 is correct. You can easily go for T. So it is an easy question. By elimination, you can get that. And question number 36. Now this is related to minerals. India has joined the Mineral Security Partnership as a member. So it's a current affair, not a recent current affair, it's a random current affair. The second one is India is a resource-rich country in all the 30 critical minerals that it has identified. Okay, you carefully read the statement. India is a resource-rich country, okay, in all the 30 critical minerals that it has identified. Critical minerals may be rare earth minerals like tungsten, lithium, etc. Right? So whether we have all the 30 critical minerals we have identified, that is not at all possible to India have all the 30 minerals. When you eliminate 2, even without studying 3, you can easily eliminate B and then eliminate D and then eliminate A, and you can easily narrow down to C. Right? Whether you know 1 or 3, by seeing 2 itself, you can arrive an answer. That is C, right? All 3 options having 2, when you eliminate 2, you will be getting C. Now the MMDR Act, which was amended, it has given power to the central government exclusively to giving mining lease and then composite license for certain critical minerals. It's a fact. And India also joined the Mineral Security Partnership as a member. It is a US-led initiative. India joined way back in 2023 to enhance India's global supply chain in the mineral sector. Okay, to meet the emerging semiconductor industry, etc., etc. Right? So you eliminate 2, answer will be there. C is the answer. So 36C, 37. When it comes to 37, stock exchange, or you can say this capital market. As regards returns from an investment in a company, generally bondholders are considered to be relatively at lower risk than stockholders. Yes. Okay, you know the order. Equity holder, high risk, then bondholder, less risk, apart from the debenture holders. Here, equity and bondholders. Statement 1 is correct. Bondholders are lenders to a company, whereas stockholders are its owners. Obviously true. It's a basic static question, very easy question. For repayment purpose, bondholders are prioritized over stakeholders by a company. So all are static direct question. So statement 2 and 3 justify, both statement 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. A is the right answer. It's a very static question. Direct statements, no need to think about these questions and all. The moment when you see the question, reading 20 or 30 seconds, you can easily answer without hesitation. Sure short question. And question number 38. Yeah. Here, India accounts for a very large portion of all equity option contracts traded globally, thus exhibiting a great boom. Okay. You may see that it is a sweeping statement. India accounts for a very large portion of all equity option contract. You have to know what is equity. In that, you need to know option trading, equity option contracts traded globally, thus exhibiting a out of the world. India is leading, right? All equity options. You will be having a question in your mind, right? Go to the second statement. India's stock market has grown rapidly in the recent past, even overtaking Hong Kong's stock market at some point of time. You may not be knowing this. There is no regulatory body either to warn the small investors about the risks of option trading or to act on unregistered financial advisors in this regard. So here, whether to eliminate 1 or 3 without whether you know 2 or 1, here you have to think that there is no regulatory body to warn small investors. When it comes to stock exchange, whether you are an investor or you are an unregistered financial investor, SEBI is there under their regulatory ambit. They will be taking action. If you are an unregistered financial advisors, they will take action on you as per the SEBI Act, and they will guide the investors also. So when you say 2, 3 is wrong, they're asking correct statement, you can easily eliminate B, C, D. You can narrow down 1 and 2 is correct. You should not think that when it is they are giving all equity option contracts traded. Yeah, it is true. It happened, right? And the second, India in the month of Jan 2024, India stock index improved, right? More than Hong Kong's stock index. Okay, so 38 answer A. 1 and 2, it is easy question. By elimination, you can solve. Okay, that's why I said out of the 18 questions, most of them, whether you know the fact or not, with logic, you can easily eliminate the choices. And then question number 40. Yeah, 39 is also there. Circular economy. Circular economy reduces the emission of greenhouse gases. Circular economy reduces the use of raw material as inputs. Circular economy reduces the wastage in the production process. Both statement 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. It's just reuse, recycle, okay, reduce. So this concept. So obviously 2 and 3 justifies statement 1. You can go for A. And then question number 40. Direct question from public finance. Okay. Capital receipts create a liability or cause a reduction in the assets of the government. Yes, capital receipts. This is correct. Borrowing and disinvestment are capital receipts. Yes, if you know capital budget, both are direct statements. Correct. And third, interest received on loans create a liability of the government. No. Government receive interest only, they give loan to state governments or other countries. So when they give loan, the loan itself considered as an asset. When they receive interest, it is going to be the interest payment revenue receipt. So when you eliminate 3, you can easily get 1 and 2. Correct statement they are asking. So 1 and 2 is the right answer for question number 40. And question number 44, I said, when it comes to agriculture, so they asked about one scheme and then one agricultural productivity data. India is the largest producer and exporter of turmeric in the world. You can make a guess because you all know that. So it is native to India. So there is high possibility that we can produce the largest quantity in volumes and exporter also. More than 30 varieties of turmeric are grown in India. Maharashtra, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu are major turmeric producing states. So this you can make a guess. Mostly tropical region. There is high possibility that with the availability of water and the temperature, you can grow turmeric. So these two, you can make a guess. Here, you don't have any option to guess. If you know the fact, you can answer. So all the 3 statements are correct. This question is straight away from the current affair. So a turmeric board has been launched by the Union of India recently. So based on that, they have taken this. They wanted to improve low producing states which is having potential also. Okay. So 44 answer D. And then question number 50. Russia Google mission, right? So it's a direct question, factual one, nothing complicated. When you think about why the scheme has been introduced, you directly will get the answer. So it is important for the upliftment of the rural poor as majority of the low producing indigenous animals are with small and marginal farmers and laborers. This scheme is mainly for developing indigenous breeds. Obviously, it will help the small and marginal farmers. Okay, statement 1 is correct. It was initiated to promote indigenous cattle and buffalo rearing and conservation, and both are correct. You can go for both 1 and 2. So question number 50, answer C. Then question number 71. See, we have seen very rarely questions of this type. Question number 71 and then 75. If you know the formula for fiscal deficit, primary deficit and all, you can answer this question. You see, like in aptitude, they are asking, they have given some figures and they are asking, what is the answer? So here it has been given revenue expenditure, that is 80,000 crore, and revenue receipt 60,000 crore. Budget source 10,000 they are going to borrow. Interest payment is 6,000 crore, and they have given 3 statements. Now, we all know that revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt. So 80,000 crore minus 60,000 crores, 20,000 crores. Revenue deficit is 20,000 crore, that's correct. And 10,000 in budget, it has been mentioned as borrowing. Yes, fiscal deficit is nothing but borrowing for the present financial year. So 10,000 crore, correct. Primary deficit is nothing but how much we borrow, right? From that you have to subtract the interest payments made out of the borrowing. Suppose 10,000 crore we are borrowing, our interest payment is 6,000 crore, then obviously 4,000 crore would be the primary deficit. That interest payment will be of the previous financial year. We borrow 10,000 crore to pay off the previous financial year's interest payment around 6,000 crore. It is coming around 4,000. Primary deficit, direct formula, no need to worry about this numbers and all, right? This, the moment when you see numbers and all given, you may panic, but no need to worry about that. So it's very easy question. All the three statements are correct. You can go for answer D. Okay. And then question number 75. In a similar fashion, they've asked about another question. Here they have given directly a country's fiscal deficit stands at 50,000 crores. Right? It means we borrow 50,000 crore. It is receiving 10,000 crores through non-debt creating capital receipt. The country's interest liabilities are 1,500 crores. What is the gross primary deficit? Gross primary deficit is nothing but gross fiscal deficit minus interest payments. Same. Now, what is the fiscal deficit? 50,000 crore. What is the interest payment? 1,500 crore. Okay. 50,000 minus interest payment 1,500 is equal to 48,500 crore. You no need to worry about non-debt capital receipt 10,000 crore. For confusing you, there are other options also have been given. Simply primary deficit is nothing but total borrowing how much? Out of that, how much you are paying interest payment? Remaining you will get as a primary deficit. So 48,500 crore. Okay. And then, so answer A. 15th Finance Commission. It's a repetitive question, but in a different statement. So question number 76. Okay. You see here, they have given some numbers. It has recommended grants of 4,800 crores from the year for the states to enhance educational outcomes. We do not know about the numbers and the years. The second statement is the key here. They have given 45% of the net proceeds of the union taxes are to be shared with the states. Okay, you all know that it's a kind of static now. It's not a current affair now. Because that year when it was published, that may be a current affair. Now everyone knows that 15th Finance Commission, the vertical devolution is 41%. When you eliminate 2, right, you can easily eliminate A and B. You will be left with C and D. Now C also, there are some numbers has been given. 40,000 crore for performance-based incentive for all states carrying out agri reform. You may not be knowing about the number, but it reintroduced a tax effort criteria to reward fiscal performance. Yes, right, whichever the states, they have done some reforms to enhance their tax to GSDP ratio, there are some grants will be provided by the union. So 4 is static, it's a direct recommendation. So 2 is wrong, you know, 4 is correct. Okay, 2 is wrong, 4 is correct. Now again, you'll be having 1, 2, 4. Okay, or 2, 3, 4. Also, 2 definitely will not come. Obviously, sorry, 1, 3, 4 will be the answer because A, B, D. In all 3 choices, 2 is there. If single fact you know, vertical devolution is 41%. All other things speaks about horizontal devolution and some extra recommendations. So answer is C, 1, 2 and 4. Now question number 77. 76 also easy question. It's not moderate. You can easily solve by knowing a single fact. And question number 77, World Bank Group. In that they ask about International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. If you know the genesis of IBRD, everyone used to read about World Bank, IMF when you study the static economy, you can easily answer. It provides loans and guarantees to the middle income countries. Yes. It works single-handedly to help developing countries to reduce poverty. And then it was established to help Europe to rebuild after the World War II. Actually, the purpose of creating IBRD is to reconstruct the war-affected country. This we have taught so many times in our classroom lectures. Okay, so 3 is correct, 1 is also correct. Developing country, low income country, middle income country. Okay, it's correct. But when you see single-handedly help developing countries to reduce poverty, no. IBRD cooperates with other World Bank arms like International Finance Corporation and International Development Association and other partners. They collaborate and they will help countries to reduce the poverty. It is not taking the efforts single-handedly, right? So this single-handedly is the key here. You can eliminate 2. When you eliminate 2 without knowing 1 and 3, you can come to the answer 1 and 3. So question number 77, 1 and 3. Okay. Then question number 78. As I already mentioned, payment and settlement system, there are 2 questions. One is related to RTGS and NEFT. Okay. So this question, when you apply logic, at least definitely an easy question. You know that in RTGS, the settlement time is instantaneous, while in the case of NEFT, it takes some time to settle, right? So real-time gross settlement, instantly it will take place. But the denomination will be minimum 2 lakh they have to spend. So statement 1 is, by definition, is correct. NEFT will be taking place in National Electronic Fund Transaction. Transfer will take in batches. Okay, so it's going to be the lengthiest one. And the second statement, in RTGS, the customer is charged for inward transaction, while that is not the case for NEFT. Okay, so here, when you receive money from anyone, why you have been charged? When you make payment, there will be some commission since you are the initiator of the transfer. So, 2 fundamentally wrong. RBI does not charge, or RBI asks bank not to charge for inward RTGS or NEFT or so. So second statement, when you think something, why I have been charged when I receive money through RTGS, you can easily get the answer. 2 is wrong. For inward, when you receive money, no charge is applied. When you make payment, charge is there. Operating hours for RTGS are restricted on certain days, while this is not true for NEFT. No. Now both RTGS and NEFT are available for 24/7 on all days. Okay. Here also again, when you eliminate 2, you will be getting 3 options. We know that 1 is correct and 3 is also, if you know correct, you can go for 1 and 3. Okay. Easy question. It's a static one with some updates. Right. This also we have given a separate tabular column in our classroom lecture. And then question number 79. This is related to UPI. How many countries amongst the above are there other than India where international merchant payments are accepted under UPI? It's truly a factual one. We have done lectures on UPI, and I recommended you to go to the entire nuances of UPI, because recently there was an update. Our UPI payments are accepted recently in Sri Lanka and Mauritius, but the fact is that you can see Singapore, France, UAE, these are happened in the past itself. It's a random current affair. Only by knowing the stat or the fact you can answer. So 1, 2, UAE, France, Singapore, where our UPI payment is accepted. So only 3, answer B. Now, last question in economy, that is PM Surya Ghar Mufti Bijli Yojana, something related to electricity. When you read 3 statements, you can easily narrow down what could be the answer. You see, it targets installation of 1 crore solar rooftop panels in the residential sector. Okay, if you assume that the statement 1 is correct, now you read the second statement. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy aims to impart training on installation, operation, maintenance and repairs of solar rooftop systems at grassroots level. Yes, there is a possibility. Okay, but you see, when you see 1, 2 is also a possibility. You see 3, it aims to create more than 3 lakh skilled manpower through fresh skilling and upskilling under the scheme component of the capacity building, right? For 1 crore rooftop installation, right? 3 lakh skilled manpower, why they are going to skill? Skilling is a separate thing. It's coming under various other skill development program. It is not at all a component of this program. Okay. Employment will be generated. Okay. Skilling, skill certification for installing solar rooftop is not a part of this program. You can make a guess. Okay, this is going to be installed, and then some employment will be generated. and the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy is going to give some basic training. It doesn't mean that they are giving skilling for this much people. So 1 and 2 is the right answer. Okay, with this I am just winding up the economy discussion for now, as I already mentioned. So almost 18 questions are there, including the themes. I hope you have done well, and you understood the logic and the tricks applied in each and every questions. Thank you.
Okay, good evening all. I will try to provide the key and explanation for science and technology and environment questions. In case of science and technology, I think there were no big surprises. The only thing is generally UPSC asks questions from the high-tech concepts and also from everyday science, but this time there were questions only from the high-tech concepts like biotechnology, your space missions, your defense technology, all those stuff. I think there are around 8 to 10 questions this time. Let's try to solve one by one. The first question is, consider the following type of vehicles: full battery electric vehicles, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, fuel cell electric hybrid vehicles, and how many of the above are considered alternative powertrain vehicles? I think you might be worried with the word alternative powertrain, but this is just a gimmicks. Okay, alternative powertrain is nothing but anything that does not follow your conventional fuel system, which is, like either a petrol or a diesel. That is called an alternative powertrain. When you go by that logic, a full battery electric vehicle does not involve any gas or diesel. Similarly, hydrogen fuel cell, and similarly, your fuel cell electric hybrid vehicle. So all three are alternative powertrain vehicles. So your answer should be all the three. Your second question, with reference to unmanned aerial vehicles, consider the following statements. All types of UAVs can do vertical landing. I think we discussed this particular thing exactly in our class. There are two types of UAVs, right? One which has a rotor and another which has a fixed wing. We discussed that, in case of hovering, only a drone with a rotor only can, do a hovering job. Going by that logic, look at the first statement. All types of UAVs can do vertical landing. Fixed wings cannot do vertical landing. They are just, miniature version of, your normal planes. So statement 1 is wrong. All types of UAVs can do automated hovering. Again, fixed wings cannot do automated hovering. So statement 2 is also wrong. Third one, all types of UAVs can use battery only as a source of power supply. That's not true. Most of the fixed wing UAVs use your general ICE engines. So none of the statements are right. The question asks for correct statement. All three are wrong. So your answer is D. Next, third question. In context of electric vehicle batteries, consider the following statements: cobalt, graphite, lithium, and nickel. This is a bit tougher because the question asks how many of the above usually make up the battery's cathode. This is Before understanding this question, there is one logic here, because generally in case of any batteries, what constitutes an anode and what constitutes a cathode depends on the physical property of the material used. Okay. We know anode is a negative electrode and cathode is a positive electrode. Generally, the electrode which is on the negative side should have a property to absorb all the electrons or ions, when the discharge is actually happening. If we go by that logic, you can see there is one odd man out, which is graphite. If you eliminate graphite, the answer is cobalt, lithium, and nickel. So your answer will be C, only 3, right? Let's look at the next question. Okay, consider the following: cigarette butts, eyeglass lenses, car tires. How many of them how many of them contain plastic? And this is also a very easy question, because nowadays plastic is present in almost in everything. Cigarette butts definitely have plastics in them, but it is a different type of plastic. Let's not get into that details. And of late, we have seen a lot of plastics fibers in our eyeglass lenses. So definitely there is plastic. Even polymers also present. Polymer is again a different type of plastic, right? And car tires also have plastic in them. It's not entirely rubber. It also has plastic in them. So the answer is all the 3. Next question. Question number 5. Consider the following substances: ethanol, nitroglycerin, urea. Okay, coal gasification technology can be used in the production of how many of them? This is again a tricky question. And there is one trick here. We know both ethanol and urea can be produced by as a byproduct of a coal gasification technology. When this nitroglycerin is an odd man out. If you remove nitroglycerin from this, you will get the answer, which is only 2, because this is obtained by the glyceration of nitrites. Okay. Next, 6th question. What is the common characteristics of chemical substances generally known as Cl20, HMX, and LLM105, which are sometimes talked about in the media? Okay. On the outlook of it, it looks something related to a defense technology, right? But the options are very confusing, because almost all the options are very close to each other. But there is one particular trick here. Okay, look at the second one. It says HMX. We saw what is RDX in our classes, right? What is the abbreviation of RDX? RDX is nothing but which is this question number 6. Okay, your RDX is nothing but research department explosive. Okay, while naming explosives, for the E part, they generally use X. If you go by that logic, HMX is something related to explosive, because the letter X here represents something which is an explosive. So by that logic, you can narrow down the answer to B, which is these are explosives in military weapons, right? Your current affairs might confuse you a bit, because something like Cl20, which is primarily is an explosive, has been now remodified to into being used as a fuel also. But primarily all these 3 are explosives, military explosives used in bombing and other stuffs. Okay. Next question. Okay. Consider the following statement. It is expected that Majorana 1 chip will enable quantum computing. Statement 2 is Majorana 1 chip has been introduced by Amazon Web Services. Statement 3 is deep learning is a subset of machine learning. This is directly from your current affairs. If you know what is Majorana 1, It is easy to solve. Yes, it is related to quantum computing, but look at the options here. We know Majorana 1 was in news because it was being developed by Microsoft Systems, right? But they have given it is developed by Amazon Web. If you remove this one, you will get easily the answer because C2 is in 3 options. There is only one option which does not include 2 in it, which is your answer C, right? Next, with reference to monoclonal antibodies often mentioned in news, consider the following statements. I mean, this is a current affairs from 2023, right? This was actually related to the Nipah virus outbreak, which was in Kerala. There they used this particular antibody to fight the Nipah virus. Yes, it is a man-made protein. Yes, they stimulate immunological function due to a specific antigen. And yes, it was specifically related to Nipah virus. So all the 3 options are correct and your answer is D, 1, 2 and 3 only. Next question number 54. Okay. GPS aided geo augmented navigation. Gagan uses a system of ground stations to provide necessary augmentation. Which of the following statements are correct with respect to Gagan? Look at the first statement. It is designed to provide additional accuracy and integrity. If you know what is Gagan, we know it is a set of ground stations which help in improving the accuracy of geolocation, right? Going by that logic, this is the first statement is right. Second one, it will allow more uniform and high quality air traffic management. Any form of global positioning is going to help you in managing any kind of traffic, be it air traffic or ground traffic. Third statement, it will provide benefits only in aviation but not in other modes of transportation. This is wrong because look at the word, this is a sweeping statement which includes only in it. Okay, GPS works both for aviation and ground-based traffic system and positioning. If you remove 3, we'll get the answer as 1 and 2 only, which is your option D. Next question is question number 61. Okay. Consider the following statement. Statement 1, some rare earth elements are used in the manufacture of flat television screens and computer monitors. Statement 2, some rare earth elements have phosphorescent properties. This is a direct question actually. We know any form of electronics involves your rare earth materials. This logic is going back that logic. Statement 1 is exactly right. But when it comes to monitors and displays, you need a particular property in order to use that element to display images, which is exactly nothing but your phosphorescent property. So your answer is A. Both 1 and 2 are correct and statement 2 correctly explains statement 1. Next is your question number 63. Okay, consider the following space missions: Axiom 4, JDAX and Gaganyaan. The question asked, how many of the space missions given above encourage and support microgravity research? Okay. Out of the 3 missions, we know both Axiom 4 and Gaganyaan involves sending astronauts to the space. The moment there is a human present in a space, you can assume that there are going to be experiments happening in a microgravity environment. So we can take Axiom 4 and Gaganyaan as your answers. The doubt we will get is whether JDAX is involved here, because this is mainly a docking mission. But when you check the ISRO website, there is one particular part in this JDAX mission, which is nothing but your poem 4, where they have mentioned that this particular mission will also involve, your microgravity experiments. Going by that logic, all the 3 are correct. So your answer is C. Next is question number 64. Okay, this is a bit tough because this involves names of your aircraft that are being used in your Indian military. Okay, I mean, there is only one thing we can eliminate with a vague logic, which is IL-76 has been mentioned as a supersonic combat aircraft. I mean, we know we have, we know all the supersonic aircraft that the Indian Army has, right? It is either your Tejas, your Sukhois, your MiGs, or your Rafales. So this is nothing close to that. So there is a fair chance that this is wrong. Okay. Actually, Dornier 288 is a patrol aircraft, and your C-17 Glowmaster is your military transport aircraft. This is also a military transport aircraft. So your 2 is right. The second pair is wrong. So the answer is B, only 2. Okay, last is 65. Okay, artificial way of causing rainfall to reduce air pollution makes use of which among the following? There is also a logic to solve this question. Look at all the options: silver iodide and potassium iodide, silver nitrate and potassium iodide, silver iodide, potassium nitrate, silver nitrate and potassium chloride. Okay. There is a reason why iodides are being used in cloud seeding, because they need something that is non-reactive. Iodides are non-reactive. Nitrates and chlorides are reactive. So anywhere you see nitrates and chlorides, you can eliminate it. So your answer is silver iodide and potassium iodide. Okay, this ends your science and technology questions. Next, we will get into environment and ecology questions. The first question is question number 9. Okay, question number 9. Look at the first statement. No virus can survive in the ocean water. This is wrong. Viruses survive even in hostile environments. So ocean is not, very hostile for something like a virus. So statement 1 is wrong. Look at the second statement. No virus can infect bacteria. We know there are viruses which are also called as bacteriophages. They infect a bacteria and kill in order to survive. So statement 2 is wrong. Statement 3, no virus can change the cellular transcriptional activity in host cell. The method of action for a virus is itself to change the transcriptional activity in a host organism. That's how a virus survives. It is inactive outside. Once it gets into a active living thing, it tries to manipulate its transcriptional activity, and it multiplies through it. So all the 3 statements are wrong. So your answer is none. B. Next question, question number 10. Okay. This is the first time UPSC has come up with this particular format. Look at statement 1. Activated carbon is a good and an attractive tool to remove pollutants from effluent streams and to remediate contaminants from various industries. Statement 2, activated carbon exhibits a large surface area and a strong potential for absorbing heavy materials. Statement 3, activated carbon can be easily synthesized from environmental waste with high carbon content. If you know what is an activated carbon, it is actually easy to solve this because the statements are fairly direct, right? If you know what is an activated carbon, it will be very obvious that statement 2 and statement 3 are the right explanations of statement 1. Okay. So for the answer for this is both statement 2 and statement 3 are the correct, and both statement 2 and statement 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. We know this activated carbon, we have largely seen this in your water purification processes. The reason why it is being used is because it has a large surface area. It can absorb a lot of contaminants from the water. Next question number 11. Consider the following statements. Okay. Studies indicate that carbon dioxide emissions from cement industry account for more than 5% of global emission. Statement 2, silica bearing clay is mixed with limestone while manufacturing cement. Statement 3, limestone is converted into lime during clinker production for cement manufacturing. Okay. The first statement talks about, the contribution of CO2 to the atmosphere from the cement industry. In order to verify if this is true or not, we should know if this particular figure is correct. Actually, this particular figure is right because the global contribution is around 7 to 8%, which is more than 5%. Now, this is right. Okay. Once the statement is right, now we have to look at for the next statement, which will explain this high amount of carbon infusion into the atmosphere. There are two statements. One is silica bearing clay is mixed with limestone while manufacturing cement. This has actually nothing to do with the carbon dioxide production. But look at the third statement. Limestone is converted into lime during clinker production for the cement manufacturing. Here in this particular reaction, CO2 is actually emitted as a byproduct. This is actually the process where CO2 is emitted to the atmosphere. So, actually all three statements are right, but only one of the statement, which is the statement 3, explains statement 1. So, your answer is B. Both statement 2 and statement 3 are correct, but only one of them explains statement 1. Right? Next. Question number 14. Okay. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on Climate Change is frequently discussed in the global discussions on sustainable development and climate change. If you are following Paris Agreement closely, we know, we have read a lot about this carbon sequestration and trading of carbon credits. All these are discussed under Article 6. So far we have not we were not bothered about the article number, but instead what is being discussed. But here they have mentioned the article which specifies this particular part. Okay, so this is actually right. Look at statement 2. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on Climate Change sets out principles for carbon markets. Again, these two statements are actually right, but these two statements can be identified only if you know the details of Article 6 in your Paris Agreement. Okay. For this particular question, the answer is both statement 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. Next is question number 15. Okay. Which one of the following launched the Nature Solutions Finance Hub for Asia and the Pacific? This is a very direct question. This was done by your Asian Development Bank. Next is question number 16. Okay. This is an interesting question. Look at this with reference to direct air capture, an emerging technology. Which of the following statements is correct? First one, this is nothing but they will directly have apparatus, chemical processes in order to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is then collected and augmented and sequestered under the ground. This is the process. Now, look at the statement. It can be used as a way of carbon sequestration. Yes, the very point of using this technology is to sequester carbon. Look at the second statement. It can be a valuable approach for plastic production and in food processing. Okay. This sequestered carbon is now finding additional benefits, right? The first one is this carbon now can be infused into polymers to make plastics instead of preparing plastic from your fossil fuels, which will contribute carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. This is a process where you collect the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and in turn use it to produce your plastic. So this is right, and it is also used in food processing. Food processing is nothing but your carbonation of your drinks, right? Carbonation of drinks, we add carbon dioxide to our cool drinks and consume it, right? There every time they produce new carbon dioxide, but when you use, this is nothing but recycling carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and in turn using it in your food products. So statement 2 is also right. Third one, in aviation, it can be used as a source of carbon for combining with hydrogen to create synthetic low carbon fuel. This was also in news because they found a way to integrate this carbon dioxide into a aviation fuel. Okay, so statement 3 is also right. So our answer is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, next is your question number 17. Okay, regarding peacock tarantula, Guti tarantula, consider the following statements. If you had followed the news, you would have known this is a very bright and bluish spider. Look at the first statement, it is an omnivorous crustacean. This cannot be a crustacean, right? So your statement 1 is wrong because spiders belong to orchids. Its natural habitat in India is only limited to some forest areas. If you had read current affairs, you would have known this is a critically endangered species endemic to India, right? Going by that logic, the statement 2 is right. And in its natural habitat, it is an arboreal species. Arboreal is nothing but something which lives on a tree. The moment we say a spider and it lives in a forest, it is safe to assume that the spider is in a tree. So 2 and 3 are right. The question asks for the correct statement. So your answer is D, 2 and 3. Next one, question number 18. Consider the following statements. Carbon dioxide emissions in India are less than 0.5 TCO2 per capita, 5 tons per capita. In terms of carbon dioxide emissions from fuel combustion, India ranks second in Asia Pacific region. Electricity and heat producers are the largest source of CO2 emission in India. This particular question was directly taken from your IEA website. Okay, if you surf through this IEA website, you could see all these points listed in a graphical representation one by one. Actually, all the 3 statements are, except the first statement, all the other, the second and third statements are right. The first statement is wrong because CO2 emissions of India per capita is around 1.77. It is around 1.8 and 2, not less than 0.5, right? So statement 1 is wrong, but the other 2 statements are actually right. So our answer is C, 2 and 3 only. Next question number 20. Okay, with reference to planet Earth, consider the following statements. Rainforests produce more oxygen than that produced by oceans. The statement is wrong because though they produce abundant oxygen, they in turn consume a lot, making the net oxygen added to the atmosphere almost negligible. So your statement 1 is wrong. Statement 2, marine phytoplankton and photosynthetic bacteria produce about 50% of world's oxygen. This is right. I mean, this fact can be verified under your National Ocean Service website. They have directly given this particular statement there. Third one is well oxygenated surface water contains several folds higher oxygen than in the atmospheric air. I mean, I think you can easily eliminate 1 and also 3 because we know the amount of oxygen present in air is around 21%, right? If you take an air component, around 72% is nitrogen, but 21% of it is oxygen. but that much oxygen cannot be dissolved in sea water. Okay, going by that logic, you can eliminate 1 and 3. So your answer is 2 only, which is B. Next question number 70. Fairly direct question. Which organization has enacted the nature restoration law to tackle climate change and biodiversity loss? Look at the organizations. I mean, the World Bank cannot enact any law. Okay, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, the Food Agriculture Organization, these are fairly general organizations. They do not enact law. But look at option A, European Union. They enact law. So you can go by that logic. Otherwise, you should know the fact because this was in news this year. The last question is question number 74. Okay. The World Bank warned that India could become one of the first places where wet bulb temperatures routinely exceed 35 degrees centigrade. Which one of the following statements best reflects the implication of the above said report? Okay, maybe not under environment, but we saw this particular concept under our science and technology class. We know what is a wet bulb temperature. The moment the wet bulb temperature increases, humans lose the capacity to cool down their body because the air outside is hot and humid, so that extra humidity cannot be added to the air. In that case, your skin loses its capacity to cool down. And cooling down of a skin happens only when your sweat evaporates. Okay, that will not happen when the wet bulb temperature increases. This is more a concept that is directly related to the physical incapability of human beings to cool down their body. Not just human beings, any living organism. Okay, so look at this statement 1, Peninsular India will most likely suffer from flooding. It has nothing to do with flooding. Okay. Statement 2, the survival of animals including humans will be affected as shedding of their body heat through perspiration becomes difficult. Fairly direct. So the statement 1 is wrong and statement 2 is right. So the answer is 2 only. Thanks, guys. Come on.
Okay, so now I'm going to discuss Indian polity questions, right? So there are around 15 questions, and very few questions is from governance. Okay. So when it comes to the breakup, so here most of the questions, right, are center state relation and governor related questions. Okay. Of course, there are certain questions related to parliament where speaker and then anti-defection law, and few questions related to president. Okay. And then schedule 5 and one question in PRI. So these are the major areas UPSC focused this year. There is unconventional thing is that Indian polity questions, there is not much focus on fundamental rights, preamble, and then this historical background and all. This time they have not focused much, right? So in one question they were asked fundamental duty, DPSP together. Okay. And when it comes to organizations, they asked about that interstate council. Again, I can club it with center state relation. One question they asked about the amendment procedure. So governor around 3 questions, president around 2 questions. Together, governor and president is somewhere around 5 to 6 questions together. And then parliament, there is 1 question, and anti-defection law 1 question, like that, close to 15 questions. Center state relations, somewhere around 2 questions. Okay, all each 1, like that. It was around 15 questions. Okay, and here, when it comes to polity, the questions are, majority of the questions are easy and static. Okay, so very rarely you find some questions related to moderate and then tough oriented questions. Certain current affair related question or some random current affair. Again, what we have seen in mineral exploration related question in economy. So here, the mineral exploration question in polity is also there. So major mineral, minor mineral, who have the right, that is state's executive power. Right, there are 1 question. Now I forget to add that 1 question is related to state formation. So these are the areas. So unfortunately, there are no questions directly from fundamental rights or preamble and all. Okay, where we used to expect more number of questions. And this polity questions are, most of them are statement oriented, very lengthy statements, but it can be easily solved with some logic. Very few questions you can find moderate and tough. We'll see what are those questions. When it comes to governance, there was 1 question related to Lokpal, and 1 question we cannot say directly it is from governance. You take the Gandhi Peace Prize. So what is the jury committee who selects the winners of the Gandhi Peace Prize? So there they asked about the composition. Mostly powers and functions, composition related questions, direct questions are asked. So out of the 15 questions, you can easily, as I already mentioned with respect to economy, in polity also you can score minimum 10 to 12 questions without any headache. Okay, now we'll see what are the questions. For convenience, we will be having the questions separately. Yes, we'll start with question number 51. Okay, and you see PRI, Panchayat, this is B series question. The first polity question will be of PRI question. You see, it's a very easy question. They asked about not correct with respect to PRI. So Panchayats, the intermediate level exist in all state. The moment when you see the first statement, you can easily eliminate, right? Okay, this statement is wrong. You all know that where the population is less than 20 lakh. Okay, so there won't be any panchayat at intermediate level. But in all other states, we'll be having panchayat in all the 3 levels. Okay, this is wrong. One is not correct. Another one is, to be eligible to be a member of the panchayat at the intermediate level, a person should attain the age of 30 years. For entire PRI, at the all 3 level, we all know that the minimum age is 21 years. There is no such age criteria for intermediate or district panchayat level. The second is also not correct. And what about third? CM of a state constitute a commission to review the financial position of panchayats at the intermediate levels and to make recommendations regarding the distribution of net proceeds of the tax and duties leviable by state between the state and panchayat at the intermediate level. This is about finance commission, that is state finance commission, which is given in 73rd constitutional amendment under article 243I, right? So here it is not constituted by chief minister, it is constituted by governor. Very direct question. All the 3 statements, okay, they asked about which of the statements are not correct. 1 is not correct, 2 is not correct, 3 is not correct. So all are not correct. So D is the right answer. Okay, just forget B. So it is a mistake. So 1, 2, 3 not correct. And then question number 53. So it's a random current affairs stuff. Usually, who will get the prize? What is the prize bounty and all they'll be giving? So this time they asked about the jury, members of the jury to select the recipient of this award. Again, it's a factual one. Okay, PM is heading the committee, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, CJI and Speaker of Lok Sabha. So they will be part of the jury who select the recipient of the award. So president will not be coming, right? So you can eliminate 1 because he will be giving the award. So 2, 3, 4, all are correct. So this only you can answer. Okay, this you can take moderate or tough, unless until then it will be easy. Very random current affairs they have asked. And then when it comes to Lokpal, okay, one of the expected area only, it's part of governance. This Lokpal is not functioning as expected. Okay, so even in the constitution appointment, there are a lot of issues and the cases filed, no such effective things are happening with respect to Lokpal, but still they have asked about its relevance and its composition related they ask. It's a very good question. You see, the statement 1 is the power of Lokpal applies to public servants of India, but not to the Indian public servants posted outside India. Suppose if you don't know the composition or you forget about the composition functions of Lok Sabha, just apply some logic. So Lokpal is a anti-corruption agency, right? It's a ombudsman, right? It's a grievance redressal agency with respect to corruption cases against the public servants. So since public servants, Indian public servants posted outside India, if they are doing any corrupt practices, yes, and Lokpal, we can take action as per the Prevention of Corruption Act, whether they are posted in India or posted outside as IAFS officers or on a mission in UN, anything. So they also be penalized under Lokpal. By logic, just by applying logic, you can easily say that 1 is wrong. And the second statement, the chairperson or a member shall not be a member of the parliament or a member of the legislature of any state or union territory, and only the Chief Justice of India, whether incumbent or retired, has to be its chairperson. Okay, so here two set of statements they have given. This is somewhat lengthy, quite confusing. So here you have to be very calm. You have to read once again. So the chairperson member, definitely they'll be not a part of legislature. Okay, that's sure. But you see, only the Chief Justice of India has to be its chairperson. No, Chief Justice of India or judges of Supreme Court. They may be sitting judge or retired judge. That doesn't matter. But it doesn't mean that only CJI. Clear? So that kind of responsibility usually will not be given on a single person to responsibility, right? So the second statement is wrong. Now the third statement. Before going to the third statement, okay, the chairperson or member shall not be a person of less than 45 years of age on the date of assuming office as the chairperson or member, as the case may be. You do not know, usually the random textbooks will not be giving you the minimum entry age and all. You cannot find this kind of age limitation in any books. But you see the fourth statement. Lokpal cannot inquire into the allegations of corruption against the sitting Prime Minister of India. No, it includes even corruption cases against the Prime Minister of India with some exception. When it comes to national security related issues, international relations or defense related stuffs, public order related issues, if there is any corruption case, where PM will not be called under Lokpal. So 4 is wrong, 1 is wrong. By seeing that, you can easily eliminate C. You know that 2 will be, 2 is also wrong. Okay, 1, 4 wrong, 2 is wrong. Now you left with 3, whether 3 or none. Okay, so here, as per the act, it has been given the eminent person out of the total 8 Lokpal members, 2 must be eminent persons. So that eminent person will be having the chairman or member shall not be a person of less than 45 years of age on the date of assuming office. Of course, the chairperson definitely, he will be at the level of Chief Justice of India or Judge of Supreme Court, right? And other persons, 50% of the member will be judicial members. Obviously, they will be having more age when they are elevated to High Court or Supreme Court. There is a separate class, they have been given minimum age should be more than 45 years. Okay, for eminent person, they'll be having experience in the public affairs at least 25 years. There is a criteria. You imagine that a person who is having 25 years of experience, definitely his age, right, more than 45. Okay, professional experience should be 25 years. Definitely he could have entered the profession by 25 years. You just make a guess. At least 50 years and above only will be able to enter into Lokpal. So this guess you can make because it is a anti-graft agency. So that's the reason. So this I can consider moderate. Okay. For somebody, those who do not know, they may feel tough. Why I'm saying moderate? At least you can eliminate 3 statements you can eliminate. Okay. Only 1 you will be having doubt, 50-50 chance. So that's why I say it's moderate. So answer A. Question number 66. Now, as I already mentioned, pardoning power of the president they have asked. It's again a direct question. The exercise of this power by the president can be subjected to limited judicial review. Yes, according to Article 72, it has not been given anything like that. But pardoning power is given in 72. It does not mean that if president is taking a decision under malified intentions, definitely judiciary will intervene. Judiciary has given some guidelines, though judiciary is not to give any guidelines. Based on certain cases, they have given certain guidelines. So in that guidelines itself, it said that judiciary will not interfere, right? But they will interfere when the president is taking an action on this pardoning power in a malicious intent. So limited judicial review applicable. You should not feel that no judicial review. 1 is wrong. The president can exercise this power without the advice of the central government. No. Supreme Court has said that this has to be done with the advice of Union Cabinet. Okay. So 1, 2, both are wrong. Sorry, 1 is correct. I'm sorry, 1 is correct. Subjected to limited judicial review. The second is wrong. Only 1. Easy question. Again, static 1. Right? All Lakshmikant stuffs. Now, parliament question on the speaker related question. In parliament, they specifically they asked about the speaker's appointment and removal. On the dissolution of House of the People, the speaker shall not vacate his or her office until immediately before the first meeting of the House of the People after this dissolution. Yes. Okay. Till the next speaker assumes office. Okay, after the election, when the pro tem speaker is appointed, till the time he will be there in office. Correct. According to the provisions of Constitution of India, a member of the House of the People on being elected as a speaker shall resign from his or her political party immediately. There is no constitutional provision related to that. Whenever a question is saying that according to the provision of Constitution of India, you better most of the time, right? It doesn't mean that I'm giving a clue or code and all. So when you see, Constitution has not clarified many things. So you can with courage, you can go for eliminating this statement. Constitution, there is no provision. There is a convention. British convention. In British, it is a fully established convention. When speaker is elected, he will be resigning from the party. But in India, there is the convention itself is not fully established. So answer 2 is wrong. 3. The Speaker of the House of the People may be removed from his or her office by a resolution of the House of the People passed by a majority of all the then members of the House, provided that no resolution shall be moved unless at least 14 days notice has been given of the intention to move the resolution. Yes, it's the procedure. So correct answer they have asked, C is the right answer. It's again easy, static. Okay, so directly from Lakshmiga, 68. Okay, so this is related to anti-defection law. If any question arises as to whether a member of the House of the People has become subject to disqualification under the 10th schedule anti-defection law, the President's decision in accordance with the opinion of the Council of Union Ministers shall be final. So very easily you can eliminate, because when it comes to anti-defection law, it is the Speaker who can take a final call, right? When it comes to President, so other than anti-defection law, President will take a call, but still based on the opinion of the Election Commission, okay, not based on this Council of Ministers. So one is wrong. There is no mention of the word political party in the Constitution of India. This may be tricky. You may feel that, okay, there won't be any mention of this word in the Constitution. No, it is there. When it comes to anti-defection law, so definitely you should have a word called political party. You are moving from one party to another party, the member will be, when they are defecting, they will be disqualified. Obviously, there will be a word called political party in the Constitution, not only in anti-defection law. It is there in Article 75, it is there in Article 361B. In many occasions, they have given the word political party. It may be deceiving, but you must be very careful. When you understand this anti-defection law and slightly think about that, you can get the answer. So both are wrong, neither one nor 2. It's a little bit tricky, but again easy, static. Question number 69. Statement 1, statement 2, statement based questions. Right, so this is again states executive power with respect to mineral licenses, exploration and all. You see, in India, state governments have no power for making rules for grant of concessions in respect of extraction of minor minerals, even though such minerals are located in their territories. No, it's not like that. For minor minerals, states are given certain powers to give concession, license and all. When it comes to major minerals, it will be decided by the union government. So they have given no power for making at least concession. Giving concession, if it is not there, then what kind of federalism it is? So 1 you can easily eliminate. So when you eliminate 1, you will be getting answer D. In India, the central government has the power to notify minor minerals under the relevant law. Yes, whenever some minor minerals have been identified, respective regulations has been made by the central government based on a law made by Parliament. Okay, answer D. Question number 81. Okay, now this question is related to ordinance making power of the union. Generally, they have given ordinance making power. Now you see, an ordinance can amend any central act. Of course, ordinance itself a temporary law. It can amend the existing central act when it is made by the President of India. An ordinance can abridge a fundamental right. Yes, like a law, ordinance also a temporary law. So it can abridge the fundamental rights without violating the basic structure. If it is violating the basic structure, then Supreme Court will review it and they will nullify it. So it's also correct. An ordinance can come into effect from a backdate. Like an ordinary law, it can be implemented retrospectively. Many instances we have done this implementation when it comes to civil related ordinances. Yes, of course, we used to implement from backdate. So all the 3 statements are correct. Question number 81, the answer is D. Now, question number 83, center-state relation. They have given 3 institutions: Interstate Council, National Security Council, Zonal Council. How many of the above were established as per the provisions of Constitution of India. So when it comes to zonal councils, State Reorganization Act is there. The National Security Council, it's an executive body. And then when it comes to Interstate Council, so we have Article 263, but still there are certain controversies revolving around choosing whether Interstate Council is a constitutional body or statutory body. President has the power to, when and where it is required, they can establish a council, and what could be the composition of the council that president can decide. But what are the functions of the council, for which purpose they can create a council, it has been clearly mentioned in Article 263. So for that reason, I'll go by answer only one, Interstate Council. Okay, let us wait and watch. Like in economy, in polity also, we'll come to know only after UPSC releases the final key. So question number 83, the answer is A. Now, question number 84. So the Constitution of India explicitly mentions that in certain spheres, the governor of the state acts in his or her own discretion. Yes, of course. When it comes to governor is having certain discretionary powers, right? You know that when same governor is for two or more states, there is some discretion. In scheduled areas, there are some discretions, and when it comes to reserving a bill, there are discretion. Okay, so as expected, more questions from governor. So one is correct. The President of India can, of his or her own, reserve a bill passed by a state legislature for his or her consideration without it being forwarded by the governor of the state concerned. No, President cannot take up the bill which is passed by the state legislature. He cannot himself reserve the bill. It is, the reservation can done only by the governor. Okay, so that's why 2 is incorrect. President cannot himself or herself reserve a bill passed by state legislature for considering without the governor. So only 1 is correct, A. Question number 85. Now, as I mentioned, very simple question, DPSP, it includes fundamental duty, of course, fundamental right, a minimal importance given. Separation of judiciary from the executive in the public service, you all know that, Article 50, DPSP, okay. Valuing and preserving of rich heritage of our composite culture, fundamental duty under 51A, yes, matched. Prohibition of employment of children below the age of years in factories. 24 is there, but age is 18 years even. Okay, not, it does not prohibit children under 14 years. So 3, it is not part of fundamental right. Okay, only the Child Labor Prohibition Act protects the child from employed under the age group of 14 years in industries, right, including all the domestic establishment. So only 2 statements, B, that is the first and second are correct. Now question number 86, as I mentioned, scheduled area. Okay, so here also you can very easily eliminate. So that's why I said majority of the questions except a few where some you feel it may be lengthy, if you rightly caught the question during your examination, definitely you have high chance of getting minimum 24 to 25 marks, right? Some may even take all the marks in the polity itself, which makes you clear the prelims. Okay, now you see question number 86, I think, right? Now here, when it comes to scheduled areas, you see the statements with reference to Constitution of India. If an area is in a state is declared as a scheduled area under the 5th schedule, the state government loses its executive power in such areas and the local body assumes total administration. No, it's not like that. When it is being declared by the president, certain laws will be vetted or filtered by the governor. Okay, so that's the thing. It doesn't mean that it takes out entire administration. Sweeping statement, wrong. Total administration it cannot take. Again, state executive, governor is nothing but state executive. He is having more control on that. So it's wrong. 1 is wrong. The second statement, the union government can take over the total administration of such areas under certain circumstances on the recommendations of the governor. No, it's not like that. It's not only in Schedule 5 or Schedule 6 areas, whenever there is a situation, then only, suppose if that area is disturbed because of any armed disturbances, there they can go and take over the control. They can bring martial law. It's not like that. Scheduled area to govern the tribal belt with some special care to them. So both the statements are not correct, neither one, not two. Question number 88. Now, center-state relation, and you can say it's in the amendment procedure also. Static Lakshmikant portion only they have asked. If you know whatever coming under federal amendment, basically they have asked about, you see, for a constitutional amendment with respect to which of the above ratification by the legislatures of not less than one half of the state is required before presenting the bill to the President of India's assent. Okay, before getting the President assent, state 50% of the state has to ratify that. Obviously, it is a special majority amendment, and moreover, it is a federal amendment. State's consent is required. For which of the following? Union list in the 7th schedule. For all the list in the 7th schedule, state has to give its consent. So one is correct. Extent of the executive power of the state and union, yes, it's a federal amendment. Okay. Third, conditions of the governor's office, it has not been given in the part of the federal amendment. So 1 and 2 is right answer. Question number 89. Okay. This is again related to governor. I said 3 questions directly governor. In 1 question, president and governor kind of thing they have asked. Okay, now you see the governor of a state is not answerable to any court for the exercise and the performance of the powers and duties of his or her office. Yes. Okay. Under 361, there are certain immunities, legal immunities given to the office of president and governor for whatever the actions they are doing, they are not answerable in court. You may feel that the recent judgment against the Tamil Nadu governor, you should not confuse with that. According to the constitution, they are not answerable. So this is what we can find. Okay. They have given in the judgment, there are certain timelines they have given. Okay, they said that they'll interfere. Okay, but in general, they are not answerable in any code of law. No criminal proceedings shall be instituted or continued against the governor and his or her term of office. Yes, for civil proceedings, some advance notice has to be given. Members of a state legislature are not liable to any proceedings in any court in respect of anything said within the house. Yeah, this is also correct. Okay, so those questions which we had a doubt, like this one and interstate council, we have to wait and watch which will be correct as per the UPSC. Okay, I hope both economy and polity answer discussion will be of great use. Wish you all the very best to clear the examination. So next, other current affair topics will be handled by Prakash sir. Thank you.
நான் மீதி கொஸ்டின் தரேன். Yeah, hi students. Hope it is useful for you. So now we are going to cover current affairs related questions. Fine. Yeah, fine. Yes, in this prelims, especially when it comes to current affairs, they ask the questions which are recently occurred. Okay, so from in 2025, so from January to February and even March, they asked so many questions. So that means we need to more concentrate about 2025, and even they asked from 2023 also. So that means we need to cover 2 years of current affairs to get easily answer these current affairs questions when it comes to UPSC. Fine. So first, when it comes to current affairs, especially when it comes to international relations part. So under current affairs, we are going to see international relations organization and other miscellaneous topics in the current affairs area. Fine. So in question 52, they ask, this question is an easy one. Okay. So BIMSTEC is always in the news. This is why they asked this. Currently, a recent summit has happened in Thailand. So because of that, so after 7 years, that meeting, in-person meeting has happened. So they asked here. Fine. So the BIMSTEC. So it is a regional organization consisting of 7 member states till January. Yes, fine. Yes, this option is right. Fine. So you know that it is a regional and the 7 member states. I will show you who are all the 7 member states. Bangladesh, India, Bhutan, Thailand, Myanmar, Nepal. Okay, so those are the 7 member states. So till January 2021. So this statement is, you can easily make this on as a correct statement. And second one is, it came into existence with the signing of the Dhaka Declaration. Is it so? And you cannot forget, you need to note down this year as well, 1999. So here you may get confused, isn't it? So this one is okay. It's just leave it. So answer is, so 1 is correct. So in 3 options, option 1 is there. Fine. Now we need to go for the third option. Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Nepal are the founding member states of BIMSTEC. Is it so? No, because the BIMSTEC is started in 1995 itself. Here at that time only Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, and Thailand, BIST economic cooperation. So yeah, so it was BIST. Okay, BIST EC in 1997. So there is no Nepal in it as a founding member. So if you know this thing, you can easily eliminate 3 also. Fine. So 3 is already eliminated. It is not there in this option. Next, fine. Fourth is, in BIMSTEC, the subsector of tourism is being led by India. So this, the current affairs parts comes in. So recently this happened in Thailand. So because of that, the tourism sector is, you could have assumed that it could have Thailand. So you can eliminate option 4. Now it becomes 1 and 2, 2, 1, 1 and 2, and option is D. So here, if you know the existence of, okay, it is because of not Dhaka Declaration, it is because of Bangkok Declaration 1997. So because of that declaration, BIMSTEC was established. So here the answer is D only. Fine, D 1 only. Hope you're getting me. So I will show you the BIMSTEC and all. Why does tourism start? You already know BIMSTEC is a sector-driven organization. So there are 14 priority sectors identified. So each year, this sector's participation or leadership get revolved around those member countries. And its permanent secretariat at Dhaka, Bangladesh. Because of that, you could have assumed that it is because of Dhaka Declaration. No, it is because of Bangkok Declaration. So you should aware that B, okay, BIMSTEC, B starts with Bangladesh. So its headquarters is permanent secretariat at Dhaka. But it is established BIST, Thailand. T is the last one. So Thailand. So Bangkok Declaration. Fine. So these are all the countries represented in BIMSTEC. Fine. So we'll go for the next question. Fine. Next is the recipient of Gandhi Peace Prize. So recently it is awarded. So it is also in the current affairs question. Fine. So they awarded to the Gita Press. Okay. So they awarded to Gita Press. So they just asked who are all the jury members present in the awarding committee. So they asked the jury to select the recipient of Gandhi Peace Prize. So here, the Prime Minister, Chief Justice, Leader of Opposition. President is not there in it. In most, when it comes to awarding the prizes, President will generally a person who is just awarding the prize. He doesn't normally nominate or in the jury committee. Even in national awards like Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, he should not in the jury of that particular committee. So the president, if you have certain amount of a common knowledge about these kind of awarding things, you can easily eliminate the president. So if you eliminate the president, you see, you can easily eliminate these two options. Now it comes 1 and 4, it is there in this, so it is only about the 3, whether Chief Justice comes in there or not. So you can make this question under 50% bucket. So you could have answered A or C. You can easily get it, isn't it? So the answer is C. So it is awarded annually by the government of India, and they launched this prize, International Gandhi Peace Prize, in 1995. Fine. So 1 crore of cash. Fine. It can be, and it is open to all persons regardless of nationality. So the jury members are Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition, and the Chief Justice of India. Also the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Fine. And 2 other eminent persons appointed by by 3 years. Fine. So these are all the members who were the jury who select the awardees for Gandhi Peace Prize. Fine. So you could have easily make that question into the 50% bucket, which we explained in our previous video itself. At least you could have got that question. And next is AA Action Summit, which is held in February 2025. Note the date. So they asked the recent things. Even the Bangkok, that BIMSTEC is happened in 2025. And this Gandhi Peace Prize is also awarded recently. So these are the recent current affairs. Fine. So AA Action Summit. So it is co-chaired with India. Yes, it is held in Paris in France. So India also co-chaired the summit. And the earlier itself there was 2 summits. If you followed the current affairs, you could have easily answered this first one. Along with, now the first option, okay, the statement 1 may be correct, fine. The second option, along with other countries, US and UK also signed the Declaration on Inclusive and Sustainable AI. So here they particularly mentioned 2 countries, US and UK, they signed the agreement. If you follow that important news, even though China also signed this agreement, signed this declaration, but US and UK were not for it. Most of the times, US won't go for this technology related declarations or agreement because they are the technology capital of the world. They are the capital for the technology. So if they sign any technological declaration, it affects their technological giants, isn't it? So without their concern, normally US won't sign these kind of technology related agreements, because if they sign, they could have lost the monopoly in the technological sector. So if you have this basic idea, you could have easily eliminated this statement 2. Fine. If you could have eliminated statement 2, 1, you could have eliminated 2 options. Then you can easily bring it under 50% bucket. 1 only can be, or neither 1 nor 2. You could have easily got at least something from this question. Fine. So next question is about International Year of the Women Farmer. It is too tricky actually, because they asked so many years. You need to remember all these things. To remember all these things, you should have followed what is the year for right now. So this is a bit of tricky because it is too factual. But so what it conveys is, so we need to be ready for these kind of factual questions. Fine. So International Year of the Women Farmer, here everything is right. So all the pairs are correctly matched. This one is tricky, little bit tricky. Not only little bit tricky, it is too tricky because you need to remember all this. Fine. So Women Farmer 2026 is correct. Year of Sustainable and Resilient Tourism 27 is correct. Also the Peace and Trust. So if at least if you know this also, you could have only make only one only. But here all the pairs are correct. Fine. So answer is D. So International Year of Cooperatives, everything is correct here. So next is BRICS. So this has also happened recently. It has happened in Kazan, Russia. If you followed this BRICS news, you could have easily answered the first statement. Next is this questions, because for the 2024 paper, UPSC dropped 3 questions. And also they literally, literally give, for one polity question, they literally gave the wrong answer. Likewise, for this question also it may happen. Why is? Because here the statement 1 is correct. Fine. So if the statement 1 is correct, look, only A, C, D options are there. Next, we need to check for the second statement. Indonesia has become a full member of BRICS. Recently, as a 11th country in January 2025, Indonesia became a full member of BRICS. Okay. So earlier it was only 5 countries. After that, 5 countries came in. It became BRICS plus. Okay, I will tell you what are all those countries. And so first we'll go with the second statement. So Indonesia become a full membership of BRICS in the January 2025. And the next is, the theme of the BRICS summit was strengthening multiculturalism for just global development and security. Here the thing is, this one is also right. So I don't know whether UPSC consider this statement, this issue which has happened in January 2025. Earlier, Argentina was tried to become a BRIC member, but at the later part, they refused to join the BRIC. So here the answer will be 1, 2, and 3, but there is no option here. So because of that, we are pushed to select this 1 and 3 or 1 and 2. So it can be 1 and 2, and it can be 1 and 3 as well. I don't know what answer UPSC is going to give in its key. Fine. So earlier it was 5 members. After that, 5 new members were joined, and it became BRICS plus Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. Recently, Indonesia became a 11th member from January 2025. So you can see so many current affairs questions are asked from January 2025 to even March 2025 itself. Fine. So next question is Cocoa World Cup. So first time Cocoa World Cup happened. So this question is really, even the frustrating one, because here you see, because even the last 2 years, UPSC asking about the sports related current affairs. This time they focused on Cocoa, isn't it? So first time it held, so they asked. The event was held in New Delhi. So if you followed this one, you could have easily got the first statement right. The problem is in second and third statement. Indian men beat Nepal with a score of 78-40 in the final. Third statement, Indian women beat Nepal with a score of 54-36. Actually, yes, Indian men beat Nepal, Indian women beat Nepal. But here the score is interchanged. Fine, because so many people like you, you have a certain, elimination technique. If they ask numbers, you will directly eliminate. But this time, in many places, they had a trick to avoid that kind of elimination. But here, you can easily eliminate it. So here, the score is interchanged. So the answer is 1 only. Fine. So Indian men final, Nepal is 36, India 54. So that's all. So there the score is interchanged. So the answer is 1 only. And they asked about chess Olympiad. So when it comes to Olympiad, if you know this basic thing about chess, Olympiad is always a team, not an individual. So if you know that basic thing, in the finals of the 46th Olympiad, Gukesh Domaraju became the world's youngest winner after defeating the Russian player Nepomniachtchi, whatever name. Okay, so this is not an individual game. Olympiad is not about an individual game. It is about a team. So if you know that, you could have easily eliminated this one. Now you can bring that question into the 50% bucket. Here, the second statement is the clear factual one. So Abhimanya Mishra, an American gentleman, holds the record of, yes, he is the youngest ever grandmaster. Even he became youngest grandmaster at 12, at the age of 12, I guess. Fine. Yes, 12 years. 12. Yeah. He became. So this is a 2021 related current affairs. But yes, yeah, we'll go for the 61. It is about a rare earth elements. So this is also a easy one. So some rare earth elements are used in the manufacturing of television screens and computer. You could have known about this. Rare earth elements are mostly used in the electronic devices. So if you know about that simple fact, statement 1 is right. And statement 2, now go for the statement 2. Some rare earth elements have phosphorescent properties. Phosphorescent, fluorescent. If that property is there, then only it can be used effectively in the electronic devices like television screens and computer monitors. If you know this basics, if you know the basics about the phosphorescent properties, it is a physics. So if you know that science, you could have easily answered this one. So the answer is A. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. So you know about why it is called rare, because it is, even though it is abundant, it cannot be easily extractable. So because it is found with so many mineral deposits. Next is Indian Railway National Rail Plan. This is also purely a scientific current affair based one. So because recently there were certain train accidents were happened, based on that they asked these questions. Okay, so Indian Railways have prepared a national rail plan to create a future ready railway system by 2028. Here they confused this year. Here the answer is 2030. So if you followed the current affairs, you could have easily marked this one. Okay, even if you avoid that, Kavach. Kavach is an automated train protection system developed in collaboration. No, it is an indigenously developed system. Kavach is an indigenously developed. So when it comes to so many train accidents, every time this Kavach system is in the news. So if you followed that, you could have easily eliminated this one. And here the cover system consists of RFID tags fitted on track in stations section. Here they asked about a not correct questions. So here the statement 1 is not correct. Statement 2 is not correct because it is indigenously developed. And cover system not only fitted in the station section, it is fitted in the railings of the trains and also the track and also in the track section in the station section. So it is not only in the track, so it is also in the railings. So here the not correct is 1, 2 and 3. Answer is D. Next is, this one is really a simple question because this is in the news for so many years. What is it? International North-South Transport Corridor, a multinational transport which will connect. So it will connect India with Europe through Azerbaijan is the answer. So it is not about, it is north-south, not in the Central Asia, because if you see, there is a one option, give India to Central Asia and also give India to Central Asia via China. Obviously, it won't be that via China. So you could have easily eliminated this B1. And India to Southeast Asia to Bangladesh and Myanmar. If you followed the news, you could have easily eliminated this C and B. Fine. So this is, these two are the tricky one. India to Central Asia to Europe via Iran. No, we don't have anything via Iran to connect the Europe. Fine. So here the option is D, India to Europe through Azerbaijan. So this is the normal route. Now we are going through this, through Azerbaijan and to Russia. Not through Central Asia. Fine, Central Asia is here, in this place. So next question. This is, yeah, you know, this is about ethanol production. So in ethanol production, two countries are the major producers of ethanol. You know that ethanol blending, we achieved 20% ethanol blending. Even we are pushing that limit further. So because of that, they asked the countries who is producing more ethanol. So they connected the Indian current affairs thing with the global thing. Fine. So here, yes, the statement one. First, we'll read the statement. Of the two major ethanol producers in the world, Brazil and United States of America, the former, that is Brazil, produces more ethanol than the latter. If you know ethanol, when it comes to ethanol, it can be produced through food crops. When it comes to food crops, Brazil holds sugarcane, America holds the corn. Isn't it? But when it comes to the production, America, not farmer, Brazil is the second largest producer. America, the later produces more ethanol than the farmer. Fine. So this one is wrong. So America through corn, it produces more ethanol than Brazil. Fine. So statement one is wrong. Unlike in the United States of America, where corn is the principal feedstock for ethanol production, sugarcane is the principal production for ethanol production. This one is right. So here the answer is D. Statement 1 is not correct, but statement 2 is correct. Next is about IBRD. Fine. So if you know about anything about World Bank Group, you could have easily answered this one. These are all the conventional topics when it comes to international relations. Fine. So it provides loans and guarantees to middle income countries. Yes, it is right. It works single-handedly, not single-handedly. You know, when it comes to World Bank Group, when it comes to IBRD, IDA is there, International Development Association is there. So there are 5 entities which are called as World Bank Group. I will tell those 5 entities. Okay. So it is works single-handedly. No, it is not. Next, go for the third statement. It was established to help Europe rebuild after the World War II. Yes, it is. It is. The primary purpose of World Bank, establishment of World Bank Group is to rebuild Europe as well as Asia as well. But the primary purpose is about rebuilding the Europe. So if you know about the history, you could have easily answered this one. So 1 and 3 is correct. This is also a simple question when it comes to current affairs. In current affairs, you can easily convert so many questions into the 50% bucket, even if you don't know about if you don't know exactly about certain things. So I told you there are 5 entities when it comes to World Bank Group. So one is IBRD, another one is IDA, another one is International Finance, MIGA, and ICSID. So in this, India is not part of this ICSID. Fine. And next question is about organization and union ministry. So this is also a simple one if you logically approach the question. So National Automotive Board. Is it really anything related to commerce and industries? Okay, even if you don't know about, fine. The Coir Board. Coir Board is nothing to do with the heavy industries because it is a small medium enterprises. So it is about MSME. You can easily eliminate this second option. And National Center for Trade Information. Here the trade is given with MSME. So if you apply that, you could have also eliminated this one also as well. So here the automotive is about heavy industries. So here the answer is none. So you need to apply some logic in it, that's all. So Ministry of National Automotive Board is with Ministry of Heavy Industries, Choir Board is with MSME, and this is with Ministry of Commerce. Fine. Next, this one is a really easy one because PNGRB, that means Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, nothing to do with the production. If you know that, you could have easily answered, you could have easily eliminated option 1 and option 4. It is about refining, storage and distribution. It is about marketing and sale of petroleum product. It has nothing to do with the production. 1 and 4, you could have easily eliminated. So answer is only 2. Third one. So next one is, so who does the production? ONGC. Hope you are aware about ONGC because most of the 70% of India's domestic production of crude oil and 84% of natural gas is produced by ONGC. Next, the 4 time zones. Here also a little bit tricky actually, not though the question is explicitly asked about the countries, not about territories, because when it comes to the territories of Denmark, when it comes to territories of New Zealand, when it comes to territories of Denmark, it has 6 time zones. But when it comes to Denmark as a country, it has only 1 time zone. So hope UPSC follows the literal meaning of the country given here. Fine. So when it comes to the 4 time zones, so time zone is especially about the area of a particular country. So in this, United Kingdom is a smaller one. So you know GMT goes through United Kingdom. You don't. So but when you take United Kingdom as a territory, it may have so many time zones, isn't it? So just take it as a country. So it is a smaller one. Denmark is also a smaller one. New Zealand is also a smaller country. So it does not need so many time zones in it. But if you take it as a territory, all the 5 may be the answer. So we need to wait for the UPSC key to check this one, whether they are taking it as the whole territories of UK, whole territories of Denmark, then the answer may change. But here we are following just the literal meaning of countries. Fine. When it comes to countries, only 2, Australia and Brazil have 4 time zones. But here they asked have more than 4. If it is more than 4, answer is Australia and Brazil. Fine. Still, I have certain doubts in it because if you eliminate, because when it comes to Brazil, they have only 4 time zones in it when they are taking as a country. So if you eliminate this one, Australia, Denmark and United Kingdom, if we take as a territory, it can be only 3. So we need to wait for UPSC key to check this answer. Fine. So the next question is the region and country. So this time they focused more on the, normally many times they focused more on the eastern part of the Mediterranean. This time they focused on the western part of the Mediterranean. So they focused on the Mediterranean, the islands in the Mediterranean region. So when it comes to here also, you can easily eliminate one option. This one is Normandy. Normandy is a place where the Allied forces came in. Normandy landings. If you know about world history, you can have easily eliminated because Normandy is the place in France. If you know about that thing, you could have eliminated this one. And Sardinia. This is the island which normally many times comes in news. Sardinia is from Italy. So So you could have easily transferred this question into at least the 50% bucket. Fine. So Mallorca is in Spain. So here the answer is none. And along with that, I need to discuss another 3 questions, which is, wait a minute. Yeah, question number 69, 81 and 82. Those were left. So with those 3 questions, we can wind up our discussion session. Yeah. I think, I don't know whether Riya sir covered this one or not. We'll cover this one, no issues. So when it comes to question number 69, we are taking these questions from the set B question paper. Fine. So 69th question, in India, statement 1 talks about in India, state governments have no power for making rules for concession in respect of the extraction of minor minerals. This minor mineral question is already asked in the UPSC paper. If you could have checked about the previous year question, you could have easily answered this statement 1. Minor minerals is in the sphere of state governments. So here this one is wrong. Fine. No, because it is mentioned no power. So this statement is wrong. In India, the central, now moving to the second statement. In India, the central government has the power to notify minor minerals under the relevant law. Even though it is under the purview of state, the central government can determine which one is major and which one is minor mineral, because they hold the full rights over the major minerals. So if the central government wants to add any minor mineral into major mineral, they can do it. So that means they can alter the minerals in the category of minor, isn't it? So if you apply that logic, you can easily make this statement as the right one. Even though central government hold the power over major, they can have the power to notify minor minerals under the relevant law. They can transfer a major mineral into the state sphere as well. So here answer is D. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. And next question is about polity. So I think Mr. Riaz sir covered this one, or otherwise I will go cover this one as well. This is a simple question. Ordinance is nothing but an act. It is enacted when the parliament is in recess. That means when the parliament is not functioning. So the ordinance can do any changes like any acts. If you know that basic understanding about ordinance, you could have easily answered this one, this question. An ordinance can amend any center act. Yes, it can. An ordinance can abridge a fundamental right. Yes, because it is the power. It has the power of altering anything, because it is a power of having as a parliamentary enacted law. So ordinance can abridge a fundamental right also. An ordinance can come into effect from a backdate. Yes, it can. It can bring a backdate or front date, anything, because a normal law can do it. If a normal law can do it, an ordinance can also able to do it. That's all. So here the answer is D. Fine. So, and the last question. So 82 question number. So Arunachal Pradesh, the capital is named after a fort and the state has 2 national parks. This one is correct. Itanagar, Ita fort there was. So option 1 is right. And Nagaland. Here this one is wrong, because Nagaland is not came into existence because of a constitutional amendment act. It is not. It was formed in 1963 through State of Nagaland Act 1962. So that is wrong. And when it comes to the third one, yes, Tripura was part of Part C state and became a union territory in 56. So the third pair is correctly matched. So here the answer is only 2. So with that, we come to the closing of our analysis of UPSC Civil Service Prelims paper 2025. So even though there are so many statement type questions, even though there are so many factual things, if you understand certain basic knowledge, basic fundamental ideas, you could have easily reached 80 to 90. Easily you can. So I won't say it is a tough paper. So even it is there between easy and moderate. Fine. So if you applied your knowledge, fine, you could have easily get even good marks, even above 50. Because polity questions are really easy. Economy is also fine. So, and also when it comes to history, because these questions occupied a major part. And when it comes to environment also, it's not so much complicated. But it is, it is a lengthy question paper. That is the only thing. But if you have applied your, patience and common sense, you could have easily get 50 questions right. Fine. So with that, we are winding up this session, and even our JDAX, JD Academy also launching a intensive mains preparation. It is not only about writing and all, because yes, it is writing part is we are focusing more on it. Along with that, we are going to give certain important things like subject specific vocabularies. Those things need to be used in your answer writing when it comes to mains. Along with that, we are also going to provide you the frameworks for the mains answer writing practice. For example, when it comes to weaker sections, if you want to give any reforms to improve their life conditions, you can easily compare with the preamble section in the Constitution, like justice, like equality, so like fraternity, making one among them in the society. So you can apply the preamble values to the weaker section, you can easily frame the answer. Fine. These type of frameworks we are going to offer to the students, along with certain the value added contents. So we are preparing an intensive, a 70-day plan for the mains. So those who are preparing for mains can come for the mains intensive batch program. Fine. So thank you guys. So with that, we are closing our analysis of prelims paper 2025. Thank you.